right, y'all, find your seats or get comfortable standing. Welcome to the second annual Spokane Spiciest. Now would be a good time. Woo, yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for doing my crowd control job for me. All right. To kick this off, we've got who recently described himself to me as the second most senior reporter in all of Spokane. You know him from the Inlander and more recently from Range, and for a brief period in the middle there, Investigate West, Daniel Walters.
Ladies and gentlemen, good people of the greater metropolitan statistical area of Spokane, Washington, welcome to Spokane Spiciest, an event that has been praised by critics as legally distinct from the hit YouTube show The Hot Ones. At Range, we're all about facts, so I won't lie to you. Yes, animals have been harmed in the making of this event. Deal with it. Those birds are dead and nothing you can do is going to bring them back. But take heart in the knowledge that these brave chickens have sacrificed their lives for the greatest cause of all, democracy. Like a protest in Portland, this event will start with politics, but end in fire, tears, and unconstitutionally cruel and unusual gas. That's right. For one magical night, everyone gets IBS. Tonight, we bring the pain and the Bingle and the Bartleson and the Conroy and the Kelso. We bring you left wings, right wings, and squishy ultra-processed nuggets of centrism in the middle. But no cowards, no wimps, no vegans. The one person can't do gluten, and another person, and like 15 people have this whole thing about dairy. Still,
Actually, we did have a last-minute vegan.
okay. Where we apologize for them, we'll prayer service for them afterwards. Still, like Joan of Arc before them, these leaders know that with this much at stake, there's going to be a whole lot of heat. By the time this is over, these politicians will beg us for ranch dressing, for blue cheese, for the eye wash station, just as the rich man begged Lazarus from the infernal pits of Hades for even one drop of water to soothe his damned and burning tongue. But we will look down and whisper no. There is no mercy to be found here. There's no balm in this Gilead, no succor for these suckers, only the sizzling sear of truth.
And on the advice of legal counsel, Range and Washington Bus will offer contestants pasteurized bovine lactation product or a non-dairy medically approved nut juice of their choice.
But Luke, look, we both know that it is only through the crucible of increasingly spicy chicken wings that we can burn away the artifice, the pretense, the AI jargonated slot bucket of modern politics and bite down to the meat of the issues until there's nothing left to chew on but bone. So join us as we hold these candidates' feet to the fire and their lips to the flame, as we melt those silver tongues to slag, as we go beyond the 4 stars at Lenny's Thai, beyond the 5 stars at Karma's Indian Cuisine, beyond even the Diablo packets at Taco Bell, beyond the heat of the Hanford Habanero, the Chihuahua Reaper, and the Colfax Deck Pepper, and into the realm of pure incineration. And to be our Dante, guiding us down, 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 through every circle of hell, here is the woman who stole the G from Flamin' Joe's. The reason that Spokane firefighters make so much in overtime, our perspicacious prefect, of perspirative poultry crackling with 2,026 million units of Spokapsicum. Put your drumsticks together for Spokane's spiciest oral arsonist, Erin Sellers! Sellers!
Am I right? Well, guess what? We've got a bunch more, and I'm going to try to get through them much quicker and less funnier. Okay, so we've got some rules before we get started. Sorry, this was so tall. So much taller than me. Okay, before we really get started, we've got a little call and response we're going to do to make sure that we're all on the same page about how tonight works. Your votes and your voice decide who can continue in our fiery forum and who burns out tonight. So, here's the rules for the night. You're gonna repeat after me. I promise to be loud.
I promise to be loud.
But not rude. I promise to cheer. But not heckle. I promise to disagree. Without being a jerk. And finally, I promise to vote. And tell my friends to vote. Thank you. Let's have a good time tonight. There we go. I really wanted to bust that free. Okay, so I'm Erin. I'm from Range Media, and we're one of the two hosts of tonight's event. If you're not familiar with Range, we are a worker-owned newspaper. Well, newspaper's stretching it. We're a worker-owned online news outlet. We're member-supported, and we love all of you for being here. So if you want to make sure that we can keep doing stuff like this, you can subscribe to Range. And even if you don't, you can always read what we publish for free. Over there, keeping time, we've got Luke Baumgarten, who is our editor and publisher. And I would love to welcome to the stage the Washington Bus Education Fund, our partner for tonight, and we couldn't have done this without them. Please welcome Bailey from the Washington Bus. Hi, Bailey, we're sharing a mic.
And are we here to have fun? My name is Bailey, and I have the honor of representing the Washington Bus Education Fund, the largest statewide organization dedicated to building the political power of young people across Washington state. From high school to college, we run programming, voter registration drives, candidate forums, all sorts of parties, sometimes too many parties, all in the effort of engaging the youngest voters and our future voters, and also our future leaders. We are so happy and proud to be here because candidate humiliation, honestly. Candidate humiliation is one of our time-honored traditions. We have been running candidate survivors across the state since 2009. And by the way, I was born in 2005. I am so proud to be here and especially proud of the young organizers who make this event happen. Over there on A&V is Hayden Ramirez, who is our Spokane organizer. And I just want to give a special shout out and thanks to Hayden. We are losing him to grad school, which is stupid.
Boo. Boo for school, right, folks? Yeah.
So, if any of you young folks want a job in Spokane, there might be a position opening soon, just saying. And yes, the importance of youth-led events really centers around creating spaces where the people who have been consistently excluded from political spaces have a chance to actually take center stage and shine. And I'm so proud of our youth volunteers, our youth staff. I myself am a young person. We are very proud here to see this all ages crowd and just really excited to partner with Range Media, a worker-led newsroom. This really means so much to us. Thank you for having us. Real quick, I do want to thank one of our sponsors, give a huge shout out to Washington Community Alliance. Washington Community Alliance is an organization that fights for multiracial democracy through creating venues and funding for organizations and data so our organizations know what to do and what communities to target to get out the vote. Thank you so much, and I'm bringing it back to Erin.
And I have another sponsor I would like to thank. You might have seen those cameras placed across the room. Something really incredible we're doing this year is that this event is being live streamed right now on KSPS-PBS. Yes. They have been an incredible partner and sponsor for us, stepping in to make sure that this is available for everybody who couldn't get in the room tonight. So if you haven't turned your ballot in, you can watch this forum, and hopefully it helps you make your decision if you haven't already. I'm going to tell you a little bit about KSPS-PBS. If you like staying on top of local news with Range, I also invite you to check out At Issue with our forum partner, KSPS-PBS. Yeah, they're great. Veteran Spokane journalist Dana Haynes digs into the issues that impact the inland Northwest. Topics like Spokane homelessness and public safety, and the PFAS water contamination crisis on the Spokane West Plains. Also, election coverage. Their latest episode is about the STA sales tax measure. So if you want to know anything more about that before you vote, you can watch At Issue anytime on the PBS app, at ksps.org, or on the KSPS-PBS YouTube channel. We're almost to the end of the thank yous, I swear. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is a crazy turnout. I don't think any of us imagined this. And thank you to everybody who purchased a ticket or donated. It is people like you that help make sure we can do this every year, maybe. If you attended our event last year before we partnered with these wonderful people, it was our very first Spokane Spiciest Candidate Forum. We invited 6 city council candidates to come to the stage. 5 of them did. 6 of them got a beautiful, or the 6th got a beautiful portrait, but he's here to redeem himself tonight. And this is not going to be the exact same format. We have 17 candidates we've got to get through. Woo. So we're making a few changes to the format to make sure that we can get all of these candidates in and out. I want to do one more reminder to please stay engaged, pay attention, and at the end of this event, if you haven't already, turn your ballot in. One of the big changes from last year to this year is that we're handing out awards. So we are asking you all to consider voting for the best dressed candidate. And that's not the best dressed candidate in one election. That's the best dressed candidate over the course of the evening. So don't vote until you've seen all 17 of them. And when you're ready to vote, you can go back to the table. Yes, with Nicole waving over there. Thank you, Nicole. And there's a QR code you can scan to vote for who you thought was the best dressed. We also want you to vote for the candidate that you thought was the coolest under the spice. So whoever handled the heat best. And this might not be the person that you're most politically aligned with or the person that you most want to vote for, but it's the person that you thought handled the spice from the wings and the spice from my questions the best. Okay, does that make sense? Great, you've made it through the painful part. That's the end of introductions. I am now going to welcome the candidates for Legislative District Number 6, Position 1 to the stage. Will you welcome Alan Nolan, Michelle Calso, and Nicolette Ochiltree to the stage? Beautiful. And yes, so you might notice that there's some candidates who aren't here, who aren't on this current stage, and who aren't going to be on the stage at all. So I would like to take a brief moment of silence right now for the candidates who couldn't be with us. We have incumbent Congressman Michael Baumgartner, who didn't respond to my email. We have 6th Legislative District Isaiah Payne, who didn't respond to my email. We have 3rd Legislative District candidate John Ness, who didn't respond to my email. And we have congressional candidate Nate Powell, who did respond to my email, said yes, and then backed out to be at a donor fundraiser instead of here with me. All right, so rip to these folks. They couldn't handle the heat. We will see them not again for the rest of the night.
You can insert your own Sarah McLachlan song at this moment.
And now, we've got wings in front of us. Does everybody have, can I get milk, please? So an interesting quirk of this format, and I will explain the rules, is that I'm going to make these three lovely candidates suffer. And in order to feel good about that, I need to make myself suffer too. So, last year, I ate every single wing that the candidates ate. Because I have 17 candidates, we're not doing that this year. We're gonna change it up a little bit, but I will eat 2 wings with these candidates. So I'll save them for what I think are maybe the spiciest questions. Does that sound fair? Great. And here's how this is gonna work. The first round, I'm going to ask them a series of buzz-in questions. So I'll ask a question. Any of them can choose to answer it. They'll put their hand up if they want to answer it. If they do want to answer it, they have to eat a wing. Then they can give me their answer. They get 1 minute to answer this buzz-in question. Luke over here will tell them at 15 seconds, and then he will make a noise or play a buzzer when they hit it. And then they will stop talking because they respect the time limit. We will go until each of these candidates has answered 2 questions. They can answer the same question. So if one of their fellow candidates answers it and they have something they want to say about that, they can do that too. So just throw your hand up if you hear a question you want to answer. If I ask a question none of you want to answer, just look at me until I move on. After the buzz-in round, we will go to individualized questions, which they will have 90 seconds each to answer. So you're going to get a total of 4 questions each, and you have 4 wings. So each time you answer a question, you're going to move to the escalatingly spicy wing. We've organized these very well, so whatever's closest to you is the spiciest, is the least spicy, whatever is furthest from you is the spiciest. Last year, we unfortunately had a candidate who moved in the opposite direction, and he was really suffering for most of the night, and I feel very guilty about that. If at any point during this round you want to give me a rebuttal, one of your fellow candidates said something you don't like, you disagree with, you think they're lying, you're going to throw your hand up, and then you're going to take a bite of one of those beautiful habanero peppers on that tray in front of you. Does that all make sense? Do we have any questions?
And when you do bite the pepper, will you turn toward me and so that I can and open your mouth to make sure that you've actually chewed it a little bit? Sorry, that was. I just want to make sure we're chewing. Those are the rules.
Okay, are we ready to begin? Is everybody ready to start? Hell yeah. Okay. We're getting a moist towelette so that they can keep themselves clean for the next 20 minutes-ish. All right, your first buzz-in question, so raise your hand if you want to answer this. Can you name or describe 3 bills that passed the state legislature last year that are not the millionaire's tax or the Parents' Bill of Rights modification? Do you want to buzz in and give me one, or do we want to move on? Can nobody give me 3 bills? All right, we've got Nicolette with a hand up.
All right. Nicolette, will you grab the mic before you answer?
Yes, so there are 2 mics in front of you.
Make sure it's on.
So take a bite of your chicken, and then as soon as you answer, oh yeah, is it on?
Make sure the mics are on.
Here. That's on.
Okay. Do you have a booster seat? I feel like I need a booster seat.
I'm so sorry. Last year I got comments on Reddit being mad at me because I put the candidates in shorter seats than me. So this year I'm standing. So nobody better be on Reddit saying I'm trying to make people look short.
Okay. So I start to eat it now?
Eat one and then answer. Oh, you're good if you want to start answering.
This is not spicy.
Okay. 3 bills that passed the state legislature.
And the numbers too?
You don't have to give me the number. If you can give me the name and a description, I'll trust you.
Okay. So we got 6,200 and let's start with the one that I don't remember the number of. So now we have to have officers like actually have identifying, characteristics and not being able to wear masks to obscure who they think that they are for whatever purposes. We've got the step housing bill, right? Which now allows us to have just supportive, permanent supportive transitional housing and emergency shelters in all the areas that they're zoned for, which we need because we know data tells us that scattered sites are working, and they are. Yeah. And 1220 was last year, but 1220, it's not that it's spicy, it's just that.
All right, what are we at for time, Luke?
13 seconds.
Sorry. That makes sure that we're like planning for enough housing to accommodate the needs of our population growth as we do our comprehensive planning update, which all of our local,
Okay, I'll give you half credit. If you want to. Okay, our next buzz-in question. What is one value or policy where you differ from your party? So we've got Republican Alan Nolan and 2 Democrats over here. So I need a value or a policy where you do not align with your party values. Anybody want to buzz in on that? All right, we've got Michelle Kelso.
Michelle, your timer begins now.
And I'll need a bite of your wing.
Oh, bite of your wing, then your time begins now.
This will be fun for not me.
They will be.
Me and Pepper don't get along. It's not that bad. Okay, so I believe, and this may or may not actually be going against democratic values or policies, I believe that everyone really wants the same thing regardless of what party they're voting for. And everyone deserves to be heard. And we should all work together for what we all believe in, which is that we all want happy and healthy families. We want a safe place to live, a healthy environment, and good jobs that allow us to have all these things. And that pertains to everyone, even the Trumpers, right? I don't agree with the Trumpers, what they do, but I do believe they deserve to be heard. And that's all I have.
All right, and did I see a hand up from Alan? Okay, Alan is also going to answer this, and he's taking a bite of his wing. So whenever you're ready to answer, snag that mic next to you. Yeah, level 1 starts easy, hopefully. We've got our first milk of the evening. Everybody cheer.
We cheer for milk.
So I know the Republican Party is opposed to mail-in ballots at all. I don't totally agree with that. I do think that there are issues with mail-in ballots, but I do enjoy the convenience of it. So I'd like to try and find some compromise. I think that we do need to clean up our voter rolls, but I don't think that we need to entirely remove mail-in ballot system.
Okay,
20
beautiful.
seconds. Well done.
Oh, and we've got Nicolette with her second buzz-in. Is that any spicier? Really? Okay, okay.
I ate a habanero at lunch today just because, so.
Practicing.
All right, we're gonna get spicy because we're supposed to be spicy. So I wouldn't have said this like a while ago because I wouldn't have known that this would be a Democratic value that I guess they differ from the party. But because I didn't get the Spokane County Democratic endorsement and because I was treated so poorly for talking to people I disagree with, I am willing to say that that is probably where some people would say that I diverge from my party because I love to talk to people I disagree with. I think it is an essential component of a healthy democracy to engage in positive disagreement, and I'm not going to stop doing it.
Okay. So we're moving on to our next buzz-in question. Nicolette's done. She's had her too. So Michelle Kelso and Alan Nolan can take either of these other questions. Do you support the Keep Washington Working Act, which restricts state and local agencies from cooperating with immigration enforcement? Why or why not? All right, perfect. We've both got hands up. I think Michelle went up first. Alan, if you want to get started on your wing, I'll let you do that. You look at Luke when you're ready for that timer to start.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
I do want to keep keep Washington Working Act in place because ICE is not operating as a law enforcement agency. They are not a law enforcement agency, and they are definitely acting like some paramilitary fools. So I want to make sure that our police officers do what we pay them for, and that is, what's that again? Protect and serve, not support some fascist regime that is just here to make people miserable. Like these wings are making me miserable.
All right, are you ready, Alan? Perfect.
I don't support the Keep Washington Working Act, and the reason is that it's really just an attempt to undercut federal law. And the federal government is responsible for immigration. That is a federal responsibility. It's not appropriate for the state to try and undercut that through the rules that it's implemented through that, through the Keep Washington Working Act. I am all in favor of legal immigration, and I will even tell you that I think that some of those folks have taken incredible risk to come to the United States illegally. There's certainly an American story in that because they're going out of their way, taking incredible risk in order to better their families. However, if they are here, we should give them the opportunity to go back through the legal process, and I don't think it's appropriate for the state to try and undercut the federal law.
All right. Okay.
We're not heckling.
We are moving on to our individual questions. I'm going to call that respectful disagreement as long as it stops now. We're going to start with Nicolette, go Michelle, Alan, and then we'll go Michelle, Alan, Nicolette for the second question.
Point of order, Erin, do we want to let the candidates do their 1-minute intro?
Yeah. We'll just give them a longer closing.
Okay.
Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah. Woo!
Great, we love democracy. Okay. Nicolette. You've already touched on this a little bit. You got the endorsement of the Spokane youth arm of your party, but not the Spokane County Democrats. Why, and what is your realistic path to victory without party support?
I do have party support, and it's the young Democrats, and I think that they're our future. And I think that the older Democrats need to listen and watch what they're doing because they not only are they our future, they're so bright and so talented, and I have such a pleasure to work with a couple of them. And so just like listen, pay attention to what they're doing and be better. I don't know. Is that good?
Short and sweet, okay. Michelle. And I'll take my first wing here, actually.
Woo!
You secured the endorsement from the Spokane County Democrats, but not the Spokane County Young Democrats. In your opinion, what's the matter with kids these days, and how will you make life better? How will you make life better for them and earn their support?
Well, I was actually rather sad, but fully understanding why I did not get the endorsement. I did introduce myself as old enough to be everybody's mom except for maybe Logan. So, but there's nothing wrong with the kids these days as long as they go vote, right? I don't want to do this until I'm 70. I want y'all to start doing this, but you need to be more engaged. But I know you got like 15 jobs and have to move every 3 months. It's incredibly hard to be a young person right now. So what I want to do is I want to enable you guys. I want to make things better for you so you can take over sooner rather than later.
Okay. And I'm going to take one bite of my next one for Ellen.
I didn't have to get that one.
In November, Washington voters will decide on 2 initiatives related to queer students and youth safety. We're talking Parents' Bill of Rights and the initiative that's on the ballot. Some of the language in this initiative states that students would be subject to medical examinations and need a doctor's note to play in girls' sports. Do you support requiring medical exams for girls in girls' sports?
Okay, I don't think that's a reasonable interpretation of the bill. It does talk about that they're normally physical examinations. This is not an examination of genitalia in order to confirm
Note I said
that.
medical examinations, not genital examinations.
Okay, medical examinations. Well, there are medical examinations are required for sports. Ultimately, this is not a question of whether or not we're mistreating youth who have concerns about their gender. This is an issue about protecting the 51% of the population that wants to have the opportunity for safe and fair sports. I think that's a misinterpretation to frame it based on unreasonable medical examinations.
Okay, we've got a rebuttal, I think. Yep, so you just
Yep.
yield back.
Yep. All right. We're doing 1 minute for rebuttals?
1 minute for rebuttals.
right.
Thank
I'm
you.
supposed to
minute.
open my mouth so you could see me do this?
Yeah, I got you.
This is
No.
really weird. If it were about safety, we would be talking about actually moving toward like a weight and size class kind of thing. Because I used to play basketball in elementary school. It is spicy. She used to call me 2'4", and she was nearly 6 foot in 6th grade. And I get that imbalance. But this isn't about safety. And if it was about safety, we'd be talking about it in a completely different way. I do think, I'm very concerned with how obsessed y'all are about some of these things. And it makes me feel very uncomfortable. But it's not about health and safety.
And it looks like
Rebuttal to the rebuttal.
a rebuttal to the rebuttal. That's 60 seconds. Luke, look up. He's showing you.
Yep, got it.
Nobody gets upset when we don't have 6th graders play against 12th graders, or 12th graders play against 18-year-olds. And you're right, it is quite hot.
It's no joke.
So we understand that, and we understand that there are differences even between 12th graders. And in appropriate situations, say for example wrestling, which I did in high school, you did separate it out. There are other cases where you don't. But there is a clear biological difference between males and females, and there is a risk, and there's been proven instances of harm and unfair competition. So that's the other part of this, both safety and fair competition. So if we can accept it based off of age, it's reasonable based on, to also accept it based off of other clear statistical differences.
Okay, can we keep heckling to after the answer is finished? Just because I'm trying to make sure that they get to say their piece too, yeah? Okay, we're gonna move on to Michelle Kelso. And make sure we're eating those wings before our questions. Oh, Nicolette, I'm seeing tears.
Glorious.
We've got our first tears of the night! Okay, Michelle.
Love it.
This is your 3rd time running to represent the 6th Legislative District. What makes you think this time will be different? How do you respond to those who might say that running again is not respecting the will of the voters and is a waste of party resources?
Well, let's say it this way. I am an absolute realist, and the fact is that the previous 2 times, I got almost 40% and 60% voted for the Republican. I'm also really good at math. There's 4 of him over here. They split the vote. Nicolette and me get through. If only the guys, because misogyny is a thing, if only the guys get the vote, I don't think either one of them is going to get like 40%, right? Hopefully they do give the ladies some votes, because hats off to them. But it's not a waste of party resources, because I am also very frugal, right? I am mini-filing, and I am not taking up a lot of resources, because I know I have 5 opponents, right? So I'm not going around to fundraisers instead of eating hot wings, which that one wasn't too bad at all, actually. And the second one was worse than this one. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I'm going to need to start fundraising when I make it through the primaries. But I have worked for this. I have established that we have 40% Democrats. And now's the time, and we have a really unpopular president who's doing half the work for me.
Okay. Nicolette, I'm going to move to you. And I see you have 2 wings left. So So I am going to make you jump straight to that last one.
Okay, let's
your
go.
Last question.
Right.
So why don't you take a bite of that and I'll start asking.
Okay.
You've positioned yourself as a progressive who isn't afraid to work across the aisle, while critics have pointed to your close relationship with conservative candidate Jonathan Bingle as a reason not to trust your progressive values. Has Bingle ever changed your mind on any social issues? And in that same vein, have you ever changed his?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know that he's ever changed my mind that I can think of, like, right specifically off the top of my head. I know that I have moved him in very reasonable ways on things like multifamily tax exemption and housing spaces, which I think is incredibly important. And I also want to point out that pretty much the only progressives on city council, like true progressives, are Sarah Dixit and Paul Dillon. And Sarah wasn't there at the time, but if you want to talk about people who align themselves with Jonathan Bingle, they all voted for the most draconian homelessness laws that we've ever had. It was a 7-0 vote. So if you want to talk about holding progressives accountable for being progressive, I think that's bull. We need to decriminalize homelessness, not create more draconian laws that make it more expensive for us to actually even, have you seen, we're in a deficit right now. It's incredibly expensive. And we're like, how do we fix this problem? We have all these misdemeanors that we have to put people in jail for. Maybe decriminalize homelessness. I would start there, maybe.
We're a smidgen ahead of time, and I'm wondering, if I take a bite of a habanero, will you let me ask a follow-up?
Ooh.
I'll allow it.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right.
If I ask Bingle the same question, because he's back there, is he going to give me the same answer?
Yes. He was back there and he said the same answer.
Well, I feel like, Daniel, could you not have waited until... Wait, okay. Wow, that's pretty bad.
I know, right? Yeah.
Can I ask the host not to cover your face? They need to see your pain as well.
I'm not crying yet. Just a little hiccuping, apparently. Okay. Moving on to the last question, and then we'll get to closing statements, and I am going to need to take... Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. No, it does hurt so bad.
Did you wear the red eyeliner this year?
No.
Erin had stigmata at some point last year.
Okay. Alan. As director on the Meade School Board, you've indicated support for repealing the Washington State School Director Association statements, related to commitment to equity and racial justice, among 200 other statements. But nearly twice as many black students at Meade are failing the English standardized tests as white students. If you are elected to the state legislature, how can constituent students, especially students of color, be sure that you have their best interests in mind?
Okay, I think you've got two separate questions there. The first is about WASDA positions that we've suggested retirement. And the reason for that, and I'll tell you that WASDA staff actually is in agreement that we need to consolidate the positions because there's well over 200 and most of them are competing, contradictory. And so the goal in terms of advancing this was to create the conversation to get a workable catalog. I'll tell you some additional information that wasn't in your question, is that when WASDA asked us to remove that recommendation for retirement, we went ahead and did it. So we worked with them because our goal is to make WASDA an effective organization to advocate on behalf of students. Okay, the second half of your question, all right, honestly, I'm looking for all students. I don't really care what your race, ethnicity, religion is. I want to see all of them succeed, and that's actually been the goal of us. And we want to do that based off of quantifiable results. So regardless of where they're from.
Your comments till the end.
Regardless of where they're from or their income level, I want to see them, and that is what we've been working towards. So if you want to ask, how do I do that? How do I show that it's based on what I've done so far?
Thank you so much.
Let's save our comments till the end, folks.
Okay, we are going to move into our closing statements from these candidates. Wow, that habanero really sucks.
It's crazy.
Okay. I think, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. What's the number I'm thinking of?
2, 7,
8. Okay, the number was 3. So we're gonna go right down the line for closing statements.
And we're going to
Nicolette?
do 2 minutes because we've missed your opening
We did
statement.
miss your
so
opening,
this
so
is
you
gonna
can
be
have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
All right. Well, I think if I would have said this at the beginning, it would have been a little bit different than at the end, because now I'm feeling spicy. But my name is Nicolette Ochiltree, and I'm running for Washington State House of Representative in the 6th Legislative District, Position 1. Let's go. Vote for me. I did. I'm not ashamed to say that. I'm a 6th generation Spokaneite, so if one of my family members gave you a bad deal in a car, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. If they give you a good deal, you're welcome. My day job for the next few days, you might have read the paper, I'm being laid off. It's for the Spokane City Council. I'm the Spokane City Council Manager of Housing and Homelessness Initiatives. I have had, just a delight learning how to herd cats, and, basically you become a professional cat herder at some point. But truly, learning how to, see how the sausage is made and do policy on the inside, and it's not always pretty, and you do have to talk to people you disagree with. And part of that is because we're actually trying to make some sort of headway and create solutions that really match the needs of our community. And that does take a lot of hard work. And I know how to do that. We've got some major issues that our community is facing. Housing and homelessness was my jam at the city, but I also have lived experience as being homeless over about 30 years ago, so I'm a little bit removed from the problem. But let me tell you, the people who are closest to the problem are often closest to the solution and the furthest away from the resources that they need to address those. And I didn't just make that quote up. That's something I heard from a community member, and I try to say it every chance I get because it's a really beautiful thing. And it's true. We need to have complete sort of unity in terms of talking to everybody across the region to address this issue and not just do it in silos, right? We need more housing, but not just more housing at all levels, more affordable housing, right? And I think that what we often see is that you've got the developers wanting to do housing at the 80% or higher AMI because that's what pencils out. But part of that is our problem.
Seconds.
Part of that is our problem because you had well-intended but poorly stacked regulations over time that have made building affordable housing more expensive than it needs to be. Vote for me!
I'm Michelle Kelso. Yes, this is my 3rd time running. I'm a 23-and-a-half-year retired Army veteran. I served this country. I'm also an immigrant. I have come here, as some people would like to say, the legal way, but that doesn't mean that should be the only way, because asylum seeking and requesting refugee status is a thing. So, oh, this gets louder. I'm running in this race because I have come to realize very swiftly after moving here, because I've only lived here for 8 years, that nobody was being represented in the district. Not the Republicans and definitely not the Democrats, because the only thing the Republicans in office did was grandstand and not get anything done. I'm not so sure that the current batch of Republican candidates is going to do any better, and I'm sure that even if they do better for the Republicans, if they're not willing to work with the others, the party in power, then nothing is going to happen for our district. I, in 23-and-a-half years on active duty, did never have the chance of not working with somebody because I didn't like how they looked or who they were or, just any reason. I know how to work with anybody. If you know me, I'm actually a really pleasant person, just saying, I gave up being humble some years ago, so I will talk yeah, why not? And the thing is that we all want the same things. I said it before, right? We all want the same things. We might not agree how we get there. And if I'm elected, I will listen to everyone because everyone deserves representation.
15 seconds.
But if you're not willing to work with the opposition, then you're not going to get shit done. And why would we vote for you? So I want you to vote for me. Yeah. Woo.
Hi, my name's Alan Nolan. I appreciate you all coming tonight. And first off, I want to give my compliments to the chef. The wings actually were excellent. Now, the habanero chef, no. Nothing for you. I do appreciate many of you coming out here and being willing to listen to me. I came to Ranged Media is not a far-right outlet by any stretch. But I don't have any problems coming here, and I'm willing to listen to you, and I'm willing to take spears, and I'm willing to disagree with people as well. And I appreciate those of you who are willing to listen to me, even if you don't necessarily agree with that. One of the things I think we can agree on is what we want is effective governments. And what we need in order to do that is have competence. And the reason that I'm running is the things that I bring is competence across a wide range of fields. In the military, I flew fighter aircraft, I led large organizations. I know how to get things done in that environment. I've shown the same thing in the business environment. I've shown the ability to work with people and get things done on the Meade School Board as well. And I'm doing it for all of the kids. I don't care, again, whether they're black, poor, Hispanic, Jewish, none of that makes any difference. I want all the kids, and I want all of the people in this room and in this community to be able to succeed. But I think that you guys are the ones who have the keys, not the government. And I think that the size of the government needs to be pulled back. So I'm in favor of smaller government because I have faith in you. And I'm going to use one specific example. How many of you really love spending your evenings downtown? I tell you what, most family members aren't, because it is a dangerous place right now.
Calm down.
And one of the reasons, and one of the things that we can do is we want to help people. We all see the open air drug abuse. We want to see that end. But let's reward the programs that are effective. Right now, we give a lot of money to Catholic charities. Well, there are programs like UGM and Ascenda that help people but don't get any money. I would rather see us reverse that, where we help the programs that show they've taken someone else. And thank you for your time. I'm Alan Noel. Have a great evening.
Okay, everybody. These are our candidates for the 6th Legislative District in Position 1. They've been really brave. Give them a
round of
hand.
applause.
Thank you guys so much. Those habaneros were no joke. Thank you for running with the punches. We are going to get our plates cleaned up.
Valerie Osier, my colleague and dear friend, beer me. It's on its way, guys. Thank you.
District Position 2. First up, we have Julia Payne. Next up, we have Jonathan Bingle. And running late for the same fundraiser that Nate Powell ditched us for, it's Erin Croft.
Nicely done.
Okay, and we are going to have our wing friends bring up milk and wings. And for Julia, we have something a little bit different. We've got some dietary restrictions over here and some allergies. So Luke went out and found the most sour food that fell within the allowable allergies. So Julia will be eating sour food.
I don't get a graduation.
No, it just starts bad and it stays bad, unfortunately.
They're sour grapes and they're frozen. I can attest they're pretty gross. Sorry.
And if you want to offer rebuttal, Julia, we're just going to have you eat another one. So flag down.
I think there's plenty in here.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we're pretty sure. Pretty sure. Sometimes
Okay.
we like to mix it up. Yeah.
So we're all familiar with how this works, right? I'll explain it again for our beautiful, lovely candidates. We're going to start with our buzz-in round. So I have a total of 4 questions in front of me. You guys get to answer 2 of these total questions. So I'll ask them in the order I've written them. If you want to buzz in and answer something, just raise your hand, take a bite of a hot wing, and you can answer it. Multiple candidates can answer the same question, so it's totally possible we don't get through all 4 of these questions if everybody feels super passionately about answering the first 2. If your opponent says something that you really hate, you can offer a rebuttal by eating a habanero. I did one last round. They're pretty miserable. But please note that you only get one of those across the whole time you're on stage. So I'm asking individualized questions in the second half, and you might consider saving your habanero for that. Cool?
Point of order.
Yeah, point of order.
Candidate introductions.
Yes, we will get to candidate introductions. I have one more note, which is heckling respectfully, because we've got limited time here. Can I ask you to save heckles for as soon as they've reached their time limit? Can we feel fair about that in between?
Thank you. Thank you.
If you disagree, let them speak. Voice your disagreement afterwards. That's fine. You can boo. I don't care. They might. Sorry. But it's got to stay in between questions so that they can finish what they're saying.
Yeah. You got
Okay.
17 of these folks to get through.
All right. This is going to impact the order of the final questions. So, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10.
7.
Okay?
2. I'd actually just like to save mine for my closing.
Oh, I'm trying to determine the order that we give our openings.
Oh, got it. 3.
Okay, the number was 7, so we're going to start with Bingle. You've got a microphone right there.
All right, thank you.
And you get, what did we say, Luke? 1 minute. 1 minute opening statements.
Is there a timer?
Luke
There
will
is.
shout at you
Here.
when you hit 15 seconds.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful.
Yep.
Ready?
Whenever you're ready, start talking.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name is Jonathan Bingle. I'm sorry I missed this event last year. I'm thankful that we did it on a Thursday night this year, so it didn't conflict with our business. But I am excited to be running for this position. I do want to say thank you to my opponents here for being here tonight and running for this position. Putting yourself out, running for elected office is incredibly difficult. Everything becomes public. Everything becomes a part of the campaign. And so just to step out and do that, I think is really courageous. I believe both of you have the most sincere desire to make Washington a better place and to have the 6th District's voice heard. And so for that, I appreciate you both, and thank you for running. And by the end of this, I hope some of you decide to vote for me.
All right. Next up, we've got Aaron Croft.
All right, everybody. I won't belabor the thanks. I appreciate everybody coming out and giving us this opportunity. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Erin Croft. I am running for the same position these two fine individuals are. I have 22 years in the military. I was a combat search and rescue and special operations helicopter pilot, and I served as a staff officer where I was in charge of the care and feeding, if you will, of thousands of men and women, of nearly 200 aircraft that we used, hundreds of millions of dollars in budgets. And I finished my time in the Air Force as a diplomat in a U.S. embassy overseas. So I say that so that you know that I have some experience to bring to the table. I have been in tough situations.
15 seconds.
Where I have to make life and death calls. And I know that we can do the same thing in the state legislature. Hopefully we're not making anything that does anything causing death, but we're bringing more life to the table. So thanks again.
Real quick, can I get you guys to quiet down in the back?
Julia Payne.
Can I save mine for closing instead?
You'll get a closing statement as well. You'll get both.
I'll just get it all for closing.
I'd prefer to give you 1 minute at the top and everybody get 1 minute at the end. Thank you.
In this house, we believe in following the rules.
My reasoning will be obvious later. My name is Julia Payne. I'm running for the same position. Thank you all for coming. I've been in Spokane since 1989. I am the child of 2 veterans. I've lived out in Airway Heights, and I graduated from Medical Lake, and I've lived in Spokane since then. I raised my children here. I've spent a majority of my time in the 6th District. I used to have a well just across the highway from Fairchild. So when you get into it, I'm well aware of a lot of the situations and the issues that my district is dealing with. And I am workforce trained, so I don't have years of military service to espouse, and I don't have professional career to espouse, but I can tell you that I know what it's like to dig in the couch cushions for milk money. So I know how most people have to live. I'm gonna leave it at that.
right, thank you.
All right.
Excellent time management from all of our candidates so far.
Yes, thank you. We are on to our very first buzz-in question. So if you want to answer this, throw your hand up and take a bite. We'll go in the first, like if all of you want to answer this, we'll go in the order that your hands go up. If none of you want to answer this, I'll give you like 10 seconds and we'll move on. Okay. What is your favorite law that the Washington State Legislature has passed in the last 5 years?
The Jeopardy music would have been good here.
All right, am I passing to the next question? Eastern Washington has experienced a harsh summer heat wave and multiple devastating wildfires that have forced thousands to evacuate and destroyed many homes. Do you agree with the overwhelming majority of the scientific community that man-made climate change is a threat to our future? What should be done to combat its effects regardless of where you stand? We've got two
Erin
people
first.
Want to answer? Okay. And if you hear their answers and decide you want to answer too, you are welcome to do that. All
1
right.
minute for these.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, the first one's good and easy.
Don't get cocky, Airman.
All right, no. Yes, the science is absolutely real. Every once in a while, this weird, well, there's all these other scientists that say it's not, floats around. But then you got to, follow the money trail, okay? And those are usually scientists that are paid by, big oil or other corporations that it's not in their best interest for us to take care of the planet, okay? Whether you believe the science is real or not, I believe is kind of a moot point, okay? We have a responsibility to be good stewards of what we've been given. I think the science is real. I think it doesn't matter because I think we're not being good stewards with what we have. My daughter has asthma, so the wildfire affects her, and I'm sure tons of other people. When I was at the survival school, I saw wildfire smoke, mess with national security objectives. So we have to do something about it.
All right, and now we have Julia.
I do not recommend the sour grapes. So I believe in climate change, absolutely. Science has proven it, okay? But whether you believe in that or not, at the end of the day, look at the effects. Before my wheelchair situation, I was an avid snow skier. How many people here actually get to go snow skiing anymore? Even on the beautiful mountains we have very close by. The seasons are smaller, there's less snow on the mountains, and that affects our farmers and everything down here because all of that meltwater comes down. If you don't believe that we have climate change issues, go talk to a farmer. All right, they will tell you about what they have seen and what they have recorded in their everyday lives.
Seconds.
The wildfires are another indication. I don't have to go out into detail on it. We all live with it. So yeah, it's a real problem.
All right, and Bingle's gonna answer this one as well. So we've got the first swing, and it's pleasant, right? Everybody, sour grapes not so pleasant. Sorry, you started off rough.
For the record, you can see how much spicier they get on the plate. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think the science is settled. I think that humans absolutely have an impact on the climate. I think the question becomes, what is the impact, how much of the impact, and what do we do about it? Remember, we were in an ice age 13,000 years ago. How much carbon was humanity emitting at that time? So there's a lot of natural heating that has happened in the time, but we're absolutely contributing to it. So the question becomes, okay, for me, as a person who believes that God made the earth, I, as a steward of the land, need to take care of the earth as well. And so I think we do need to be moving towards cleaner forms of energy, but we also need reliability and affordability, which is a big deal, which is why we shouldn't destroy the dams, which is why we should absolutely be investing in more nuclear reactors, because it's incredibly clean, it's incredibly reliable, incredibly powerful, and there are ways that we can make the earth a better place, make it a greener place where we can drink our water and not worry about the food that we're eating without destroying the economy.
Time.
All right. Next question. The big story of the 2026 legislative session was the multi-billion-dollar budget shortfall. If you are representing your district in Olympia next year, and there is another budget crisis, where would you make your significant cuts? Or alternatively, where would you seek revenue for the state? Okay,
Croft first,
Croft
Julia
and
second.
Payne. A little spicier? They ramp up. The real problem starts when you take a rebuttal, I will say.
If you think the grapes are bad, we should talk to the Northwest Boulevard Safeway, because I bought them today.
All right. So, we have the second most regressive tax structure in the country right now. Okay, that's a huge problem. Nobody is saying that it's being done correctly right now. Okay, if there is another shortfall, we've got to stop robbing from pension funds. We've got to stop, cutting education. We've got to stop cutting wildfire planning and resilience measures. There are plenty. I've already looked and found about 10 different things. Don't ask me to give you them right off the top of my head right now, but I've got them on the website. I've looked at least 10 different programs that are not meeting the bar. They're not doing what they were supposed to do. And that's 1.5 to 2.5 billion, and that's from somebody who doesn't have access to all the information. I'm sure if we start looking at it, we can find better places to save money if we have another shortfall than hurting programs that actually make a huge difference.
Time.
All right, and we have Payne answering that one as well.
So yeah, very regressive setup, and over the past many years, there have been at least 10 different bills that proposed various forms of income tax that have been shut down by the voters. So you have spoken your opinion on that. The reality is, the use style tax that we have right now falls more heavily on those with a smaller income. So we need to, if not evaluate an income tax, we need to evaluate some taxes that do affect resources, because the social commitment is that you are making use of roads and police and all of these things that taxes pay for. If you are making more money or have more resources or have a second house, you're making more use of those resources. And therefore, that is where the use tax should be, not on the everyday items that we have to buy.
Are you tapping in, or you want me to give you another question? I can give you the topics, which are education and a quiz on general knowledge of state legislature. All right.
He's going for this one, folks.
All right. So our budget has more than doubled in the last 10 years. And just for the record, I'm going to be 40 this year, and we haven't had a Republican governor in my lifetime. So if there's something a problem with the tax structure, I would say maybe it's time we look at a different set of leadership in Olympia to bring about something that's more fair and equitable. Now, areas that I think that we got me, areas I think we need to be looking at, I think it's very important for us to be investing in more auditors at the state level so that we can be searching for waste, fraud, and abuse, because there is a rampant amount of waste, fraud, and abuse in government. And the problem with waste, fraud, and abuse is that it takes away from people who actually need the services.
15 seconds.
It's not benefiting people who are stealing from the government. It's actually hurting the population. And so if we want the social programs to be as effective as they can be and to be meeting the needs of those who need it, we need to be removing waste, fraud, and abuse. I would start there.
Time.
Okay.
All right, next.
We are going to move on to our individualized questions. So a reminder that each of you still has one. No, because any of the questions you don't use, I might jump back to for the legislative 3 districts. I did that with one of your guys's. You got one of the ones from the last group. Okay, so we're moving on to individualized questions. You each have 1 rebuttal left, and there's 2 questions for each of you. So we're going to start Croft, Bingle, Payne, and then Payne, Croft, Bingle, and then we'll have gone every order.
And this time you have 90 seconds.
Yes, so you have a little bit longer. This is when I start to turn into a dick, so I am going to eat some eggs.
Wonderful accountability. Wonderful accountability.
Oh, I think they started me on the second spiciest this time. Interesting. All right. Erin Croft, you're running as an independent in a safely Republican district, but you've received endorsements from the Fuse Progressive Voters Guide and Democrat politicians like Andy Billig, Marcus Riccelli, Paul Dillon, and Zach Sapone. Why are you running as an independent, and where do you actually differ from the Democrat Party line?
It's a great question. I get it a lot. You wouldn't believe it. So yeah, my ideals align with progressive ideals and values. You know, I served 22 years in the military. The more senior I got in the military, the more responsibility and more authority I was given over other people, okay? I learned as I got more senior that the best use of my time and skills and everything that I can bring to the table is in taking care of people. I kept getting told, hey, the older you get, the more conservative you'll become. I come from a very, very Republican household where union was a 4-letter word you didn't say, okay? I kept waiting to get more conservative. It hasn't happened. I can't be a part of the Democratic Party because I feel that the leadership there is just, you've been sitting on the winning answers for a long time, okay? If you can't win by telling people, hey, we want to make healthcare more affordable for you. We want you to be able to afford your house with only one job. If you can't win on those answers, it goes to the leadership and the failure of leadership. And then you've got purity tests, and you've got all these things where I feel like the right does a great job of aligning behind a candidate, whether it's their ideal candidate or not. And on the left, you kind of eat your own. I'm an independent because I believe we work for the people, not a party. That's it.
Do we feel like he answered the question as to where he differs from a Democrat?
All right, do I have to, is there a penalty?
Can you take a little, I'm not going to make you take the full big bite, but can you take a little nibble of the habanero, and I'll give you 30 more seconds, but you're going to have to actually tell me where you do not align with the Democrat Party, and if you don't, you're eating the whole thing.
It's pretty good.
Equal opportunity torture here, folks.
Yeah. No, I feel like the fact that their leadership keeps, messing up is enough of a reason not to jump into the party. I'll tell you, the week of filing, I was called by the state party, the state Democratic Party, and they tried to convince me to run as a Dem because I am very progressive, okay? When I told them no, they called me evil and stupid. Not joking. On the phone, in my ear, they said I was weak or evil and stupid. So I'm an independent because I feel like both parties, their first questions are, what does the party want me to do when there's an issue? And again, the only question an elected representative should be asking is, what do the people in my district want me to do? That's why I'm not a Democrat.
It's time.
So misalignment with party leadership.
Very much so.
Okay, I'll take that. All right, Bingle, you ready? Third spiciest wing,
Absolutely.
Take a bite for me? Okay. You told Range reporter Daniel Walters, who gave me that lovely introduction, that Washington needs to drastically cut spending on homelessness because it is, quote, just not a core governmental function. That level of charity belongs in the private area, not the public,
yes.
End quote. What do you think should happen to homeless people if churches and nonprofits and the private sector don't or can't step up to get people into housing or sobering services?
Yeah, I would say that it is not our responsibility to take care of everybody. I think it's a very good thing. I was a pastor for 10 years. I did lots of missionary work around the world, trying to bring water, medicine, the gospel to folks who need it. And I think that it's very important that first and foremost, you take care of yourself. Government tries to get into this space, and it's incredibly inefficient. The federal government gives the state of Washington money. They take an administrative cut. They give it to the collaborative applicant, the city of Spokane. We take our administrative cut. They give it to Waters Meat. They take their administrative cut. They pass it down to their partners who take their administrative cut. And then they have to pay bills, and they have to pay salaries, and they got to keep the lights on. By the time the money actually gets to the streets, you're looking at about 10%, in my estimation, of the money spent on homelessness is actually getting to the people who need it. And so if we're wanting to help homeless folks, Instead of us taking the money and giving it to the government, what we can do is we can then donate it to our favorite charities and make sure that they are the ones who are actually taking care of the people. You will get far more money to the people that you want to help than having the government do it.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna do the same thing to you that I did to Erin. Which is,
Hey,
let me ask my question, thank you. I get what you're saying, and I'm going to ask you to tell me if those nonprofits and those charities don't step up and choose to help people, which they might, but we don't know that they will, and we can't require them because they're not government agencies. What happens to people who are homeless?
30 seconds.
Just a little bit, you don't have to do it all.
All right. So the thing is, you shut your mouth. I could have been blindfolded and earmuffed and I would have known who that was. Okay. So the thing is, I believe in humanity's great capacity to care for one another. I think that if the government is not doing it, which it shouldn't be, what will happen is the nonprofits will step up because we don't like to see suffering. We don't like to see hurting. We don't like to see need. So what will happen is charities will step up because there are already plenty who are not government funded that are answering
15 seconds.
Guys, let's hold.
No.
You've got like 15 seconds and then you can yell that, I promise.
That's right. And so what will happen is that if those organizations don't step up, which I disagree with the premise of that question, but if it doesn't step up, then it is on the individual to take care of themselves, which the onus is already on all of us to take care of ourselves first and foremost.
We got a rebuttal, folks.
Okay. Well, I have great news for you, which is that these two people also want to give a rebuttal. Croft ate the rest of his habanero, Payne ate another sour grape. So they will get a minute, and then we'll go to Payne's question, okay? Is everybody okay with that?
All right.
Okay.
All right. I'm religious as well. I served a 2-year mission away from my family in a third world, it wasn't a third world country. But I know,
New Jersey.
Yeah. It was in Mexico. And so I know what service is supposed to do and is supposed to look like. And here's where I have, I'm feeling that habanero. Here's where I have issue with what he's saying, okay? They haven't. These organizations, the churches, they haven't stepped up, okay? It's the same silly argument with trickle-down economics, okay? It hasn't happened. It's not going to happen. They've had every opportunity. They do tiny bits here and there, affecting very small, oftentimes similar looking and feeling and believing to them communities. But if it's not the government's job, that is just crazy.
All right, Payne, you're up.
So I've spent the past 15 years being a volunteer with those organizations. I volunteered with Pride. I was on their board. I volunteered with Spokane AIDS Network. I knew Alfredo back with the original Camp Hope, and I helped with the food train at the Camp Hope by Freya. Okay? Yes, we did all step up and help, and it isn't enough because people are being priced out of their homes, and we can't afford to live because the government is letting businesses like Avista raise their prices over and over and over again. So tell me again why the government should not be involved in this conversation. If the government is creating the homeless, then it is in fact the government's responsibility to do something about it.
All right. Next up, sorry, we're sticking with you, Julia. As of July 29th, your website didn't have much in the way of policy statements. It took a lot of scrolling to even see which office you were running for, given the website name was, quote, Julia for Office. You did say that Washington should, quote, consider policies that address residential development in the wildland-urban interface. Can you give me an example of an actual policy you would champion that would do that?
I will be honest and say I don't know specifically any bills that are presently up for that, so I apologize for not having educated myself further on that. I do believe that the approach we should take to creating a policy to create more homes is to make use of the individuals who already know what they're doing. Let's get Habitat for Humanity and the Spokane home builders and a couple of the landowners in the same room together. Family Promise, any of the nonprofits that actively work with these folks. Let's get them all in a room together. Let's pull a King Arthur, put them at a circular room or circular table and make them talk. Because the reality is that yes, we have land that needs to be protected. We have farmers that need that land to make food for all of us. But at the end of the day, we need to make sure that the regulations are not making it impossible to meet the housing needs of our population.
Okay, and we are going to stick with Julia because we did the other direction to start. So, sorry, but I'm going to make you eat another grape and we're going again.
All right. And 5 second on the website, my son was battling some serious medical issues and he was my website person. So my apologies for not doing better.
The district you're running in is and has been pretty solidly conservative. With both a Republican and an independent in the race and less than $5,000 in fundraising, how do you realistically plan to win?
I can sit down to dinner with my father, who is a MAGA Republican, and I can leave, and neither one of us wants to kill each other. So what that means is that I am out at community events, and I am out door knocking to the best of my ability. I challenge any of you to find houses that I can get to. But I'm talking to people, and I don't care if you're Republican or independent or Democratic, or if you're voting for the first time. I want to be accessible to everyone and accountable to you. So that is my goal, is to have those conversations, because at the end of the day, we're all voters, and we all live in the same space. And we all have to sit down at the dinner table and then leave not wanting to kill each other.
Okay, Erin, this one's pretty rough, but I am going to be worse to Bingle, and I'm sorry in advance, so I'm saying.
Yeah, this will be 4.
This should be your spiciest wing. Your voter registration shows that you have never voted in a primary election in Washington State. If you couldn't bother, why do you think you deserve votes in this primary?
This is not a tough question at all. So if you want another shot, maybe we go for it. I was in the military for 22 years. There are tax advantages for me to remain a resident of Tennessee, which is the last place I lived before I went to high school. And I told you I grew up in a Republican household, so I'll beat you to the point. I was a registered Republican up until we retired from the military, because Tennessee will not allow you to register as an independent. I've been a strong independent since 2008. The last time I voted for an actual name on the presidential ballot was in 2004, because I'm sick and tired of having to choose between the lesser of two evils. So yeah, I haven't voted in any primaries in Washington State because, you know, I was off defending your freedom.
Okay, I will go again if you'll let me.
Yeah, go for it.
You did vote in the general elections in 2024 and 2025. So were you off fighting for people's freedom in August but not in November?
Hey, wait, where? Say it again.
You did vote in the general elections in 2024 and 2025. So were you off fighting for people's freedom in August but not in November?
No, that's a good point. You got me. I don't know. In the primaries in 2025, I swear we did, but I believe the records. I believe, again, data and facts are very important. Science is real. So yeah, you got me. But you know, I don't know what to tell you. You can talk to anybody out there. I am plugged in. I am engaged. I am here talking with the community, working with the people that are in the know. I'll never claim to be the smartest person in the room, but I do know how to assemble the teams of smartest people so that we can solve the issues. So yeah, I screwed up in 2024, and well, 2024, yeah, I was still active duty military. I wasn't a registered, or I wasn't here and retired until after, or right before the general election in 2024. 2025, I just screwed up.
Okay. All right. You guys thought, God. A pepper just hit the back of my throat, and I'm so sorry for those mouth noises. If you thought those were bad, look, Bingle, here's the thing. This one's not going to be fun. However, I do reserve my right to say that this is me stocking up on 2 years' worth of spice. So.
You made yourself a soft target, candidate.
You've made keeping trans girls out of girls' sports and women's restrooms a talking point, both in your current campaign and in your previous role as Spokane City Council member. When asked how you would determine who could use which bathroom, you said on the Jason Rantz podcast, "Are you gonna make them pull their pants down? No, man with the beard, you're in the wrong bathroom, go to the men's room, please." Today, I'm gonna invite you right here, and I'm gonna give you a chance to test those skills. So I'm gonna show you a series of pictures. They should use. Your potential answers are men's bathroom or women's bathroom.
Okay.
They're going to be
Please face the screen.
And I will take a spicy wing for each slide. All right. What do we think?
Women's.
That is Kim Petras. She is a trans woman singer. Next slide.
Men's.
That is correct. That is Frankie Grande. He's a gay man. Next slide.
Men's.
Women's. That is Cobra. She is a cisgender DJ, techno. I don't know. She's very cool. Next slide.
I would say men's.
Yep. So that is a trans man. His name is Brian Michael Smith. He plays a hot firefighter on a TV show. Next slide.
Men's.
That is Ivy Walk. She's a cisgender woman who was in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Okay. Wow, this mic keeps getting lower and lower. We are now going to go to 30-second closing statements because we're running behind time.
30 seconds, candidates. Who are we starting with?
Yeah, we'll go the same way we did openings. Bingo, Croft, Payne. And I don't think any of, I saw maybe one rebuttal. So just putting that out there.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, again, for having me. I appreciate it. I want to point out that I did not use any milk at any point here today. I want to thank Range Media for hosting Spokane's most fun candidate forum. It's absolutely a blast. Thank you so much for having me. If anybody would like to talk afterward, I'm happy to do so. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I feel like you guys got a pretty good idea of who I am. I really appreciate this opportunity. This is amazing. I do want to say that, you know, the temperature in politics needs to come down. We need to be able to have disagreements on policy. I will say my oldest is trans. So people need to be careful and cautious about the language they use when talking about human beings, okay? We just saw what happens when people think they know better than others. All right? Vote independent. Go Erin Croft.
Time.
I'm going to use my closing statements to read a poem that was written for me by a friend. Dependent, disabled, handicapped, handy-capable, limited mobility, euphemisms all, for my body just won't listen to me. Like a boulder in my shoe, and all I want to do is put my foot down and say, stop pushing me around. But every step is agony, and it takes 2 minutes to walk 10 feet. Had to start lifting weights to increase my upper arm strength because the part of walking with a cane they failed to mention, shifting weight from my hip to my shoulder as though I've been walking on my hands. And the alternative, someone else behind the wheel, steering me along, but it feels all wrong. I want to scream, get your hands off those handles. I can handle it on my own, but I can't. May I continue?
Sure.
So instead, I smile and nod, hands folded in my lap. And I folded and squeezed into this rolling prison, desperate to be a part of instead of apart from, to fully participate and not be left on the sidelines, on the outside, outcast, because my body has become a cage and I a bird, trapped, yearning, not to fly, but just to fit down the aisle of that store. That was by Sarah Mulcahy.
All right, everybody. I really put this group through it, I think maybe more so than the last, so please give them a really big applause. Okay, and we are going to get set up for our round 3, 3rd Legislative District, Position 1. We are now running like a smidge behind schedule, so we're gonna switch to 30-second opening and closing statements. I am in pain now. I will say I see Chef Tony in the audience, and I just want to say that I actually think that he did make slightly more painful wings last year, but taking the habanero rebuttal sent me so far back this time, so. Okay, can I get to the stage Natasha Hill and Tony Keepy? Oh, maybe I'm not that far behind schedule because I actually just have 2 of you guys, so that might go quicker.
No fair during the debate behind the scenes. You know, it's the seats. Yeah, no, I get it. That should be right. So. Oh, no. Oh, there's water. Oh, just water? Yeah, I got some water. Put another place there.
I'm so sorry. I need more milk already. My whole face is burning. All right, everybody. I know we're all kind of mingling, but if we could do that a smidge quieter, that would be great, because we are going to start.
You guys are having way too much fun.
Yeah,
Can you chill
stop
out?
having fun. Are we fixing mics? Okay. Never mind, I guess you have like 30 seconds to be loud. Okay. Okay, now, yeah, thank you, person in the back. Now's your time to be quiet. Thank you.
All right, round 3 begins.
Okay, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. What am I thinking of?
10. 7.
It was 6. So, Natasha, would you prefer to go first or go second on opening statements?
I'll go second.
All right, Tony, you're up. You get a 30-second opening statement.
My name is Tony Keepy, and yes, I'm a Republican.
Everyone shush, please.
And I'm so thankful you guys are here, because we need to have more conversations about what's going on, whether you're Republican or Democrat. We have to talk together. We can't be so divided like we are right now. So I'm running.
Hold on a sec. Are we? It sounds like, is that not on?
Yeah.
Oh, they just put it back. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that better?
Can you hear me now?
There we go. That's better.
Okay, I got to put it in my mouth.
Gotta really chew on that mic.
Okay. I'm Tony Keepy, and yes, I am a Republican, but I'm so glad to be here and so glad to see you guys here, because this is the only way we can have a conversation. We cannot be so divided like we are right now. We've got to talk about what we differ on, and I'm sure I agree with about 80% of everything you agree on.
Yeah, maybe switch mics. It seems like.
All right, we switch mics. Oh, wow, that one works. That one works.
There we go.
Okay, do y'all want me to repeat?
How about we give you another 20 seconds?
Okay, another 20 seconds. I am the token Republican, and I'm so thankful for you guys giving me the opportunity, I can hear myself, talk to you guys tonight, because we're so divided. We have to start reaching across the aisle, talking to Democrats and Republicans, and make sure that the community gets better, that we have affordable living.
15 seconds.
Still 15 more seconds. I'm running because we have a out-of-control spending problem in Olympia. I want to have a complete audit of all of our expenses. Where are we spending money? I think that's what everybody wants to see.
All right. And I think we are just going to share that one mic until we figure out what's wrong with the other one. So Natasha, you're up.
Hey, thank you all for being here. I'm Natasha Hill. I represent the 3rd Legislative District, obviously. Got elected in 2024. This is my first Spicy Candidate Forum, so I appreciate Range and Erin and Luke for hosting this again so I could have an opportunity to join in. I serve on our House Housing Committee as Vice Chair, Capital Budget, and Early Learning and Human Services. We have a lot of priorities coming back, but we're also going to make sure we uphold this millionaire's tax. We spent over 25 hours on the House floor.
Time.
All right, so we are going to move on to our buzz-in questions. So like everybody else has heard me explain 2 other times, and I guess you've heard me explain maybe none, I am going to ask a series of questions. You each get 2 total answers. You can answer the same question as your opponent. You can choose not to answer a question and wait for a different one. If I read a question that you want to answer, just throw your hand up, eat a bite of your wing, and then you'll get 1 minute to answer. Does that make sense? Oh, yes.
Is it left to right?
It should be least spicy second. Okay, so, also I should remind you that after this we'll go to individualized questions, of which you'll each get 2. Over the course of your entire time on stage, you get 1 rebuttal, which you may take by eating a bite of a habanero pepper, which are sitting on that tray in front of you. And since Tony went first on opening statements, Natasha will, well, I guess these are buzz-in, so we'll just hold that thought. Natasha will go first. In the legislation. You care enough about the youth to answer?
Oh, Natasha. Take
Okay,
a bite.
great. I saw hands up from both of you, is that right? Yeah, you raise your hand and then you eat a wing.
So Natasha went first, Tony will go second.
Beautiful. And you get 1 minute. We'll go Natasha first, and when she's done, you can start. Yep.
Yep.
I mean, maybe swallow, but Luke's going to start your time in a second. No stalling.
We know that young people who are looking to graduate from high school are not finding opportunities for employment that are going to cover the costs of housing, utilities, food, transportation, and we need to make sure that they're getting into jobs, whether that's through apprenticeships, whether that's community college, and so we've got to look at ways successful no matter where they start in community. Stop the assumptions that there's a start with nothing, and we have to build from that, whether their families able to support them or not, whether they're in our foster youth system, whether they make mistakes when they're young and end up in juvenile rehabilitation. They need opportunities to come back to community. And if we're not caring for folks, if we don't continue to build up and invest in this safety net that we have ripped out from under folks since the early 2000s, that was there in the 80s, that was there in the 90s, and we've seen the difference and impact, and it's on our streets. Don't let the Republicans fool you. We need the money.
All right, that's time. And now we're going to hear from Tony Keepy.
I think we need to look at our education system. Are we getting the education that we deserve? Are you learning what we need to learn to be successful in life? I want to see more money going towards trade schools. Education, college is not for everybody. Why go to college if that's not what you want to do? College is too expensive. I want to see interest-free loans for anybody that wants to get educated and not have to pay these outrageous prices back over 30 years in your life. So.
All right. Our next buzz-in question. Both of you have pointed to affordability and housing as big issues facing the people of your district. Please name one concrete policy you would support to bring costs down. It looks like we've got Tony.
Tony's in first. Both of you.
You don't have to if you don't want to answer that one. Okay.
She's in.
I think we need to look at all of our policies. Policies, we only have 3% of land where we can build homes. When you have a shortage of places to build a home, you're going to have higher prices. We need to build more affordable homes for the younger people, for your first-time home. We've got to make some changes. We've got to look at our policies and change all the policies. Why we have to sit down with the Spokane home builders, those who build homes, and find out what policies we need to reduce. I love to go to Gina's on 30th Street in Grand, and she's been waiting 4 months to get a permit. 4 months. She can't expand her restaurant because it's taken too long to get a permit.
All right. And now
The permits are too damn slow.
We've got comedians in the room, okay.
Okay, with our young folks, we know education is one of the priorities that we have, constitutional obligation we have at the state in order to fund that, but we need to make sure that the curriculum and
Is this an answer to the housing and affordability question, or do you want to take a habanero and rebut the education question? Are you offering a rebuttal to Tony's earlier point?
Oh, I think I missed that.
The question that we're currently answering is, yes, is affordability and housing policy. However, if you want to offer an education rebuttal, you can take a bite of a habanero.
I will switch gears back to housing. One of the things I'm bringing back this year is a renter's credit bill. This is something that is intentionally meant to support students. When you're graduating from high school, you don't have any credit to establish yourself in the community. So when you're applying for a lease, when you are able to get housing, those on-time rent payments should count for something. That's something students can benefit from, so they're not looking at having to take one of those credit cards that you get, advertised even on campus with a free pizza or a gift certificate or some donation or some deposit into a savings account. Those are not things that are going to help our students long term. But building credit through responsible payment, especially when you're covering tuition, you need housing. Those are the things that are going to help students while they're pursuing their education in terms of housing benefits that can lead to home ownership a lot sooner than folks that are not able to afford homes right now till their 40s. We need to push back against these housing costs. We need to make sure that there's more opportunity for student housing that's covered through tuition. And so we have a system right now that's not working for students, and those are policies that we can push through this next session to make sure everybody paying rent gets credit.
All right. We are now moving on to our individualized questions, and we're going to stay with Natasha. A reminder that if your opponent says something you don't like or you really want to talk about, you can eat a habanero and you'll get a minute to rebut them. Okay.
And this round, everybody gets 90 seconds.
Yes. And I'll ask you when you get there to take a bite of your third spiciest wing. You want to do that with me, Natasha? Cheers. Okay. You've advocated against AI data centers in the region, calling Avista's plan to supply power to one, quote, irresponsible and unsustainable. And yet, many of the social media posts and graphics from your campaign are AI generated, including one post where you invited constituents to join you for coffee to discuss data centers. How much water do you estimate that you've personally used on generative AI? And what AI regulations would you support in the legislature?
I appreciate that and the comments on the social media. We've actually only done 2 posts. I think if you look at that relative to the amount of posts, it's significant enough to get some criticism. I think part of that was showing and you can see it, right? We all have seen enough now ads we can spot and detect the AI. And I think the responsibility isn't just on the consumer when these products are put out in the market, whether we're talking recycling or we're talking about AI. What we're really talking about is the regulation that we need if we're going to be allowing these in our community, and who's in charge of making those decisions. Right now we have a moratorium at the city level because of Vista's not being transparent. They're working behind the scenes with the notorious Al French from the county who wants to be in charge of everything. And so we need to make sure we're holding folks accountable when it comes to that transparency. We had a data center bill that came up to provide tax exemptions, and I did vote no in the House. My seatmate Tim Ormsby was the sponsor. There are labor interests. There are projects that labor wants here, but we cannot just say yes to labor blindly. We have to balance those interests. We have to look at it from an equity lens and see how that impacts us both socially, both environmentally, and how AI is taking over jobs and impacting people's ability, especially our young folks' ability to get employment. AI ain't special, and it sure as hell ain't smart, and it does look bad. So we can make a commitment right here to not use AI on our graphics going forward in this campaign. But that doesn't mean we're not going to still need computing centers, data computing centers. What are we getting? What's the regulation?
All right. Tony, you've told the Spokesman Review that you, quote, don't want terrorists and other people from countries that hate us coming to America. A Center for Migration Studies found that only 7% of undocumented immigrants in America have criminal records. As of July 11th, just a couple weeks ago, real-time statistics from ICE itself show that 70% of immigrants currently in detention also have 0 criminal convictions. If you really want to keep out terrorists and criminals, are you in favor of letting the other 70% of detainees out of ICE custody?
No.
Just to make room for the terrorists?
No, I will not. Let's look at this. So y'all may not like this, but look, when more people that are legal come into the United States, houses are going to go more expensive. We want affordable housing. If they're living here, take it over.
Save it to the end, guys. Save it to the end.
My daughter-in-law is from Michoacan, Mexico, and she's probably going to be deported in December. I support Mexicans coming across. My daughter-in-law had a 1-bedroom apartment. They had to bring 5 gallons of water in every single day. That's how they bathed. That's how they cooked. She's lived here for a better life. There's a lot of people coming here for a better life, and I support them. But I don't support the illegal OTMs, other than Mexicans, coming across the border that are legal, that are terrorists.
Save it to the end.
Okay, it looks like we have a
So you want to have terrorists here?
All right, Natasha has taken a habanero pepper and will be offering a rebuttal. Guys.
1 minute on the rebuttals. 1 minute.
1 minute on rebuttals.
Well, I think community just informed you, Tony, that your acronym is offensive and it's racist, like I told you. Dividing up immigrant groups and you selecting who are the right ones and the wrong ones, first of all, is not your job, and it's actually not in the purview of any expertise that you have. Why don't you defer to other people who know more than you and listen to communities of color when they say, that shit's racist? He didn't want to hear it from me. Here's your whole Spokane community. You're saying, vote for me. Nobody's against your daughter-in-law. You're right. She should be welcomed here. But for you to discriminate against other groups is absolutely disgusting. It's why you're going to lose, dude, because you're just a token, like you said, and ain't nobody got time for that. So go ahead and boo Tony Keepy for making his racist comment in front of everybody tonight. Thank you very much.
Rebuttal?
But I heard them.
No? If you want to be talking, you can eat a habanero. Okay, Tony, we're sticking with you, and then we're going to go back to Natasha. Can I get you to get a bite of your spiciest wing with me?
It's almost over.
It's almost over. Cheers. We're on the 4th one now.
All right, y'all, just a couple more minutes. Keep it quiet.
All right.
All right, 90 seconds.
You lost by almost 20 points last election cycle. Your campaign website still has just 4 priorities listed, with no details beyond vague descriptions like, quote, affordable housing and, quote, thriving businesses. How can voters trust that you have any concrete plans if this is your second time running and you still don't have very detailed policies on your campaign website?
I'm thankful that you went to my website that I finally put together. I have no intentions of winning. I lost by 12,000 votes last time. I'm here to give you a choice. You want something different? You can vote for me. If you want to keep the same path, you vote for Natasha. It's simple that way. Y'all like her, that's fine. But if I can get to 10,000 votes instead of 12,000 vote loss, I'm happy. I'm in here just to give you a choice, something different. Are you happy with all your taxes going up? Are you happy with having $1.42 in taxes?
Is that mic dying again?
Or just
Is this bicycle? It's just not close enough.
Yeah, you gotta chomp on it.
Are you happy with all the taxes? You see all the taxes going on, all the spending that's going on in the state of Washington. We've got to get a grip on this. If y'all want more taxes, then you need to vote for Natasha because she voted for every single tax.
All right, Natasha, can I get you to bite that spiciest wing? How are you feeling after the habanero? Honestly, you're not weeping. Okay. During your first term in the legislature, you passed a budget that included a $100 million increase for police recruitment, the largest police staffing increase in legislative history. How do you square that with your 2020 statement that, quote, police were created to return people escaping from slavery back to slave masters, are complicit in the worst gang this country has ever seen, and need to be defunded?
You can't, it's a contradiction. When you enter this house, in your caucus on the Democratic side, you sign up for a team. What we did on that $100 million that Bob Ferguson shoved down our throats in order to play nice with the opposition, which is why I say take such a big issue with playing nice with the opposition. I'm not trying to move toward fascism. If they want to hold shit down with fascism and salute Nazis, there's no center anymore. I need more progressives in the House so we don't have to take votes that we don't want to take. So I can be honest, not a vote I wanted to take, took it for the team. But we put guardrails around it. So what can you use it for? You have to do all this public health and safety stuff. You have to raise taxes in your community. You're not just getting free money from the government. We're going to monitor and regulate it. Law enforcement. Why? Because we know your history is slave patrols. And that's why they're using ICE right now to round up immigrants to deport them so they can bring in a new batch and do more slavery. How are they doing that? H-2A1 visas, where they're going to provide federal subsidized housing. They're going to displace the folks who are already already working on our farms. They're going to move out families like Tony's that have been here, and that's not okay. And so I'm going to stand up for that. And I'm going to make sure whatever money goes to law enforcement in my community, that I stand right there to hold them accountable, and I'm going to ask all of you to stand with me.
10 seconds.
All right.
So we need to elect the most progressive candidates. Elect Luke, elect me, elect Erin. Thank you.
All right. We're going to move into our closing statements. Natasha, I think you have to go first because you went last on openings. So Natasha will go first, followed by Tony. You each get 1 minute for closing statements.
I want to thank everybody who voted for me. I want to thank everybody maybe who didn't, but has had an opportunity to see the work that I've done in the legislature. I've been able to bring back Spokane-centered policy and capital investments to make sure that we as the second biggest city are not left out of the equation. We have a lot of work to do, and I can't do that work with people who aren't willing to actually pick up the phone and have a conversation. When you hear from candidates up here, they're not afraid to disagree, but they can't pick up the phone and talk to a future teammate. That's a problem. I've supported and endorsed who I've supported. I put out a statement online just to kind of give people thoughts to consider. But everybody in this room has an opportunity to vote for a candidate that represents their values. Ask questions. Hold us accountable. Tell us what you like and what you don't like, because that's what we're here to do, is serve the interests of our district and of our community and do our best to make sure that Washington State doesn't make policy that's going to create more harm instead of more good. And the way we're going to do that is uphold this millionaire tax. Thank you.
Tony? And we're going to let Tony have his minute. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. We love the crowd, love the enthusiasm. That's great. But you know, a candidate has got to be open. We have to have good communication. I have to listen to everybody, whether you're on the right or the left. That's my job to represent you. If you want somebody farther left than me, then you need to vote for Natasha. If you want somebody that's going to represent everybody, you need to vote for Tony Keepy.
All right. Okay, everybody.
Thank you both.
That was Legislative District 3, Position 1. Please give them both a huge hand. Everybody's hanging so tight with us. You can stand up. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you. Here, I'll get that.
All right. And we are getting reset to move to Legislative District 3, Position 2. So, can I welcome to the stage Luke Jasmine III, Pam Kohlmeyer, and Natalie Polson.
I'll take a little.
All right, we're making sure our microphones, batteries are working, and just for my candidates,
Testing, testing. How's the volume on that one?
for my lovely candidates, sorry.
Oh yeah, you can see it. You can see it.
Yeah, it is not going to be uncomfortable, but hold that mic so much closer than you think you need to.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Okay, and we're getting our milk,
Thank you.
and we made sure. All right. Oh, never mind. We are going to have some tech support fix mics really quick to make sure that everybody in the back can also hear the candidates. Thank you.
Get a little feedback.
Yeah, I think that's every time I move mine, so I'll try to do that less.
Would you try to not move?
All right, are we ready? Great. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Natalie.
8.
All right, it was 4. You guys were both within 3, but Luke was the lowest without going over. So, Luke will go. Do you, opening statements, do you care where you fall in the lineup?
Let's do it.
Great. Luke will start, then we'll go Pam and Natalie. And you get 1 minute for opening statements.
Mic check, mic check. Hey, first of all, yes for buses. Let's go. Let's go. Listen, my name is Luke Jasmine III. I'm a first-generation Haitian American. I'm a father of 2 daughters. I'm a child care provider, small business owner. For the past 4 years, I've been the liaison between Eastern Washington and the governor's office. And I want to say this really quick before my time ends. Raise your hand if you see me out in community or you've done work with me before. Let's go. That's what it's about. Please vote for me, Jasmine 3 for District 3. Thank you.
Pam, you're up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pam Kohlmeyer, and I'm running to help stabilize healthcare. Does anyone worry about healthcare access, funding, all of that? We have not had a doctor in our state legislature for 13 years. We can put Spokane on the map by electing one now. I am here for you, and I hope that you'll vote for Dr. Pam in 5 days. Oh my God. Oh yes, yes, in 5 days. Thank you.
All right. And Natalie Polson, I think that microphone works now, but if it doesn't, we'll pass you the other one.
Well, let's find out. Can you hear me? Okay, we're doing good. Natalie Polson, running for Washington State Representative, District 3, Position 2.
I think we are going to have to have you switch to the other one. That one's still too quiet.
We'll start you over.
We'll start your time over. Here, let me take that.
Okay. I won't repeat all of that. I'm pretty sure you know who I am. So I am a mom and a teacher. I've been in special education for over 20 years. And I'm also like to say I'm a mom on a mission, not a politician. Been here my whole life. I love Spokane. And I have seen it become unaffordable. And I just want to have safe communities and strong schools. I am so passionate about our schools. And I am definitely the person you want to vote for if you want to see Spokane thrive again. Thank you so much.
All right.
Excellent use of time, all three candidates.
So we are going to move to our first round, which is buzz-in questions. So I have a list of questions here. I will ask them. If you want to answer the question, you can raise your hand and eat a wing. You don't have to answer it. You can wait until you hear a question you like. You'll get a total of 2 answers, and we're going to eat the first and second least spicy wings. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, after this, we'll move to personalized questions, and I do want to remind you that you each get 1 rebuttal over the course of the whole time we're on stage. So you can use it on buzz-ins or you can use it on personalized questions. All right, our very first buzz-in question. Who is on your Washington State, quote, Mount Rushmore of community leaders and elected officials? Like who you would put on your, who are your top 4 list of community leaders and elected officials? Okay. All right, looks like Luke wants to answer. Mike's right in front of you. And you get 1 minute for these.
That one was okay. So, first of all, we have to give it up for Representative Tim Ormsby, who spent over 2 decades representing our state really well in our district. So he would be on my Mount Rushmore. Former Senate Majority Leader Andy Billig would be on my Rushmore. And I'll give you one more, okay?
Mount Rushmore has 4.
Look, it depends on what Trump says, I guess. I don't support that.
15 seconds.
There's 2 more that I'm hoping that all of you make sure I get elected to serve with, and that's Representative Natasha Hill, hey, and Senator Marcus Riccelli. Let's go.
All right. Does anybody else want to take that one? All right, we've got Pam. She's going to take a bite, and then she gets a minute.
It was a bite. I have a smaller mouth than you. So, Dr. Pam Kohlmeyer, honestly, besides electeds, the 2 most amazing women I think I know in Spokane are Roz Luther and Shirley Grossman, who lead Donkey Club, and they are amazing. They have helped so many of us make it through the pandemic and with community with all this Trump craziness. Also, too, I want to shout out to 2 people that I volunteer with at Shalom Ministries, feeding our homeless. Peg Johnson and Mike Connolly. They are showing up all the time for our homeless, and they are the real heroes. Thank you.
All right. Do you want that one, or do you want me to ask a new question? Beautiful. Do you support ranked choice voting in Washington elections? Luke and Pam both want that one. All right.
All right. Eat that wing. Yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe that if we had ranked choice voting, I wouldn't have lost by 2 votes in primary City Hall. So absolutely.
All right, very efficient with your time. Pam?
So I definitely believe in ranked choice voting. It tends to help people that are minorities and and aren't really backed by the political establishment to make a voice and to get on the plate or get at the table. I also wish at one point in time, and this is my own thought out loud, which I shouldn't do, but I will, I wish, rather than running for position 1 and position 2 in the House, that we could do something similar where the top 2 win, period. Because having to pick, it favors incumbents, and that's not okay. You should have the best 2 representatives.
All right. Next question. And I have a bunch I didn't use from the previous round, so if you don't like something, I'll just keep asking. If you had the power, how would you redesign Washington's tax code? You want that one? Beautiful.
So, not an expert in this, but I've actually been doing some research because I do know that we have to deal with a revenue stream in Washington State. One of the biggest issues we have is that we do not have enough revenue coming in to do what we need to do in this state. And the answer can't always be raising taxes to those that are paying the taxes. That's not an answer to the system. So I definitely think we need to sit down. We have brilliant minds in Washington State, and we need to come up with a solution that's going to work to bring in revenue and not tax everybody who's paying taxes and solve the situation.
Okay.
All right.
The state legislature has taken action to place restrictions on surveillance technology like flock cameras. Do you think the flock camera restrictions went far enough? Do you think they went too far? Do you have an opinion on surveillance technology in the state? They already used their two. They're already done. You want that? All right, all you. Definitely gets worse.
Yep.
I do feel that it impedes on our constitutional right of privacy. I think that's the easiest way to state it. I don't think I need to get into the weeds on that one.
Beautiful.
All right, there we go.
All right, everybody was very efficient with their time, which I love because we're running behind schedule. So we're moving to individualized questions.
Can I vote for all of you for being on time?
Okay, and we will start with Dr. Pam for that first individualized question.
90 seconds on these ones, gal.
Okay. You want to take a bite with me?
Oh.
Third spiciest?
Yeah.
I don't know if the small mouth is going to save you on that one. You might need to take a little bigger bite. Sorry, Dr. Pam. You can probably talk about the benefits of capsaicum as a physician.
Okay.
All right. 90 seconds.
You've centered your campaign on your identity as a doctor. You're also a licensed attorney. To be frank, your financial disclosure form with assets and income was so packed that it broke the formatting for the PDC website. Why should voters trust that you'll understand and address affordability issues?
So a big part of that is I'm on the board of Frontier Behavioral Health, and I have to disclose all of the grants that they have access to, and they have a ton. So literally, I'm choking on my hot spice. Literally, I had the CEO of Frontier Behavioral Health have to print out all of their things, and there's a lot. So that's part of it. And also, too, for my own personal disclosures, you know, I've worked very hard through life. I grew up in a military family. My dad is a retired lieutenant colonel, and I was fortunate enough to be educated. My mom died when I was 15, and I decided to go into medicine to help save lives. And I've had some other tragedies along the way that have me really reinforce that. And so if that's a downside to have financial stability from that, then that's unfortunate, because my husband and I give back hugely to the community to help give back as much as we can.
I'm going to push you on that a little bit and ask a brief follow-up, which is, do you think that voters can trust that you understand and will address affordability concerns?
We'll give you 1 minute on this, since it's a host rebuttal.
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
that's a question.
Oh, yeah. So I grew up in a middle-class household, so I witnessed that. Like, literally, when my dad comes to visit us, my husband can attest to this, he scrapes out every last little bit of butter in the butter container because he lived through the Depression and times were hard. And so I grew up with that mentality, and times were definitely hard. And my husband, too, he had to work his way through school and through medical school, so I definitely get that. And now we have kids who have a hard time, affording things. Like, it's very impossible to be able to, to afford rent and afford, schooling, all of that. It's just tough. And so I do understand. I do.
15 seconds.
All right, Luke. Recently, you received the max campaign contribution from two major utility companies, Avista and Inland Power, both of which have been rumored to be attempting to bring a large data center into Spokane County. How can voters trust you to fight data centers, which you have claimed as a priority, if you took those campaign donations and also use AI-generated images for your campaign?
Hold on. First of all, the AI images, we should definitely. No, hey, look at this.
Okay.
Luke, did I get this?
Yeah, I saw it.
All right.
Start Luke's time over. That was my fault.
All right. Go.
Thank you for asking this question because, first of all, look at my actions over the past years, okay? Number one. Number two, people fail to mention I have a max contribution from Washington Conservation Action, which I am the only solely candidate that's been endorsed by the Washington Conservation Action. And then I want to say this too, right? There's a way that you can work without compromising your values. I'll give an example. So with Avista and the Climate Institute at Gonzaga University, we worked on the climate resiliency hubs. How many people are familiar with the climate resiliency hubs? Thank you. Okay, so that's a way that we can work with utilities to make sure that we have areas for community to get energy efficient technology like we have in MLK and Carl Maxey Center. And then the other thing that I'll say is this, okay? We are spending a lot of money on utilities. You know why? Because a lot of our homes right now are not energy efficient. So one of the things that I want to work on is think about all of those lower income homes, our seniors who are on fixed income. I want to make sure we're all working together to make sure every single home is energy efficient in Washington.
Wow.
All right, is that a rebuttal? Oh,
right.
because Luke went a little over time. Next
You got a
time
rebuttal.
he does
Wait,
it.
no?
Oh, you think you beat this?
You went a little over time. You don't have to go though. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just go ahead. Yeah, that's.
All right.
All right.
Natalie, in your 2022 race for this same seat, you raised nearly $70,000. This time around, you committed to raising and spending less than $7,000. How can you win with a tenth of what you lost on?
Good question. Going back to 2022, I raised a great deal of funds, and it was completely grassroots. It was of the people. There was no big money that went into it. And I decided to go for mini filing for the primary. I will move to full file. I've kept that very transparent. But I do think that we don't need to put so much money into campaigns. We don't have to put money into a campaign when there's people starving and there's people dying on our streets of drug overdoses. And I am committed to not taking lobby money, and I'm committed to raising the bare minimum to win this race. I'm doing it different this time. I've gotten young people on my campaign, and we're hitting social media. That doesn't take a ton of money. So I just think we need to reprioritize. A lot of money goes into campaigns that could do a lot more good.
Thank you. All right. So for this next round, we're going to go Luke, Pam, Natalie. Got it? All right, Luke. Fourth spiciest. Cheers. You want to take a bite with me?
Here we go.
You already took a half an arrow. You're good. We're done. One or the other.
All right. You currently work for Governor Ferguson. and after announcing your run for state legislature, you quickly consolidated Democratic Party leadership endorsements, including both Ferguson and former Governor Inslee. Do you have any concrete examples of any times that you've gone to bat for Eastern Washington against the governor's office or against party leadership?
Yeah, appreciate that. So, first of all, the other thing too is I've been endorsed by every single organization that represents labor, most that represent health, that represent energy, and all of those have been relationships. So I've been working on state policy in this district for 13 years. And one example that I'll use this past legislative session includes Representative Hill. So our waste to energy facility. So our waste to energy facility, we were facing potential rate increases for all of us. And it took the leadership of Representative Hill, myself in the governor's office, pushing the governor, pushing ecology, and guess what? We're not having our waste shipped to Tri-Cities right now, are we? And that's the power of us, that's the power of doing work together, and that's what I'm bringing, the history of the relationships of actually getting things done for this district.
All right, Pam, on the flip side, we don't have to worry about you being beholden to the powerful interests who endorsed you because you don't have many endorsements from the powerful. You've also had to self-fund almost half of your current campaign war chest to keep up with Luke Jasmine. What proof do you have that people want you in office?
So the Washington State Medical Association, that has over 12,000 physicians and PAs across the state, reached out to me, their PAC, asking if I ran, that they wanted to support me, and saying that you have all the healthcare endorsements. That's not true. So the Washington State PAC, in addition to the state ER docs, their PAC, in addition to the state anesthesiologists, their PAC, and numerous people that work in healthcare are supporting my campaign. I have all socioeconomic classes represented in our campaign, lots of people with disabilities. I really do represent all. And the reality is, this is a movement. This is a movement of the real people trying to shake up Olympia, because the reality is, the establishment is not doing it for us. It's not. I mean, if it was, we wouldn't be here talking about some of these issues right now. Yeah. You know, and I am endorsed by the Spokane County Democrats. The reality is, I was the chair of our third LD at the state delegation. Like, I do the work. I'm also part of the Prosperity Eastern Washington trying to save rural health care. I am doing the work. Thank you.
All right. Natalie. We take a bite of our fourth spiciest?
Oh, spiciest.
That last one, yeah.
No,
This is as hot as it gets.
Mm-hmm. It gets
Okay.
the lips. It's all about.
It really does, my whole face.
Like, man.
This was a pretty hot button issue a couple years ago, but it's in your record, so I gotta ask about it. Did you invite former Mayor Nadine Woodward to pray on stage with former representative and alleged domestic terrorist Matt Shea? And if so, did you know in advance that Shea would be there?
Yeah, that is definitely a hot topic. It just came up recently. So, there was a prayer event. I was going to the prayer event. There was also over 30 pastors there. And we had fires going on, and there was a lot of difficulties that Nadine was having in her race. And so being in the Republican Party, I definitely knew what was going on. So I invited her to pray over her city. That is the long and short of it. No, I did not know who would be on stage other than Sean Foyt, and because he was doing Let Us Worship, and he was there for a lot of our youth, and it was just about prayer, along with many other pastors in our community.
All right, thank you. Okay, we are going to move to closing statements. Sorry, what was that, Luke? Oh, you're just passing the mic? Okay, and we're gonna go with closing statements for the same order we did opening, because I think we've gone through every permutation of you guys now. So, Luke, Pam, Natalie. And you get 1 minute.
1 minute.
Yeah, so overall, what I'm looking for you to do is look for who's been showing up in community for all of these years.
Okay, guys, let people talk, please.
We're not.
Okay. Hey, we could do that too. Who believes this? Luke Jasmine. We could do that too. Listen, overall though, I'm about the workforce. Housing has gone up 150% in the past 10 years. Wages have only gone up 39%. That's our issue. That's what I'm looking to work on with Representative Hill and Senator Riccelli, if you give me the chance to do so. So thank you for your time. Remember, Jasmine 3 for District 3. Let's go.
All right, Dr. Pam.
So Dr. Pam Kohlmeyer for the 3rd LD, position 2. I am the candidate in this position who can help stabilize healthcare. There hasn't been a physician for 13 years. I also worked at the Medical Commission doing health policy. I taught health policy at Eastern. I have a law degree. There are few people that have this kind of an ability that are outside of politics, and I am one of those people. The reality is, if you care about healthcare, I am the person who can help. Behavioral health is very vital right now. And also, besides that, rural health is really on the chopping block. And I will stand up for you, each and every one of you. Thank you. Dr. Pam!
Candidates for Legislative District 3, Position 2. Everybody give them a hand. They hung tough. Thank
Wait,
you
no,
guys.
Natalie still has to go.
Oh, we got a rebuttal.
No,
Okay.
Natalie hasn't gone.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. The heat is definitely.
It's all the heat. I get
We're gonna
it.
cheer just as loud when Natalie finishes. Okay? Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Natalie.
Why should you vote for me? It's because I love Spokane. I have been entrenched in this community my entire life, boots on the ground. I have served this community in so many capacities that you wouldn't know, because I am down in the trenches, I'm doing the work, and I'm ready to do it for you at the legislative level. I know that I can bring that experience and make a difference. This district has been voting the same way for over 30 years. And you've been voting for your own struggle. It's not getting any better. You need to try something new. It's time to try. Natalie Polson, you gotta vote. Give it a try. It's only 2 years. Let's see what happens.
All right, everybody cheer really loudly now because I feel
everybody,
very
good job.
badly. Thank you, guys. Okay, so we are almost on time. I'm only running like 5 minutes behind. You're good to leave.
10 minutes.
And we're going to do 2 things right now. My beautiful volunteers from the Washington bus are going to come reset the stage. We've been working in groups of 3. We're going to switch to the main event, which is 6 congressional candidates. So, while that happens, we are going to invite 2 people up to the stage to give a little bit of an intermission speech. Can I have Sarah Dixit and Gavin Cooley come to the front, please? These 2 people are on stage is because we have a ballot initiative on your primary ballot about whether or not to renew a 0.2% of 1% sales tax for STA. So Gavin Cooley is here to speak on why you shouldn't vote for that, and Sarah Dixit is here to speak on why you should vote for that. They're each going to get 90 seconds, and can we get a quick rock, paper, scissors? If you win, you decide if you go first or second.
Wow, maybe there's more agreement than we think, folks. All right, so.
Okay, so here's how this is gonna work. Sarah's gonna choose whether she wants to go first or second. You can eat a habanero if you want to offer a 30-second rebuttal, but we're keeping it brief for these because we've got congressional candidates. Luke is gonna run this because I have to go to the bathroom before I do this for another hour.
Wait, what do you want to go second? Okay. All right, Gavin, you got 90 seconds, brother.
All right. Thank you, Luke.
Yep.
Obviously a pro-transit crowd. I'm pro-transit.
Sorry, Gavin, did you eat? Did you eat the...
Oh, look.
We'll start you over. Go ahead and eat it.
Where's the drink?
You only got to do one, brother. You
Okay.
don't need a drink.
I'm pro-transit. Absolutely. A candidate mentioned a moment ago, and I think all of us on our way here, walking, riding, driving, taking the bus, we passed probably 100 people living and dying on our streets. We're the #2 overdose death rate in America for larger jurisdictions. We're #2 out of 238 jurisdictions for overdose in America. This is not the city I grew up in. People are driving by this every day. And what we tend to have is just denial. We come off the Division Street exit and we know it's not denial. We walk down here, we drive down here, it's not denial. So we have this problem in Spokane. We're #1 for hospital admissions for non-fatal overdoses. #2 for overdose deaths, almost one a day. This is an initiative for $1 billion. Are we going to spend that $1 billion addressing this problem, or are we going to spend this $1 billion improving Division Street, which I find, frankly, really troubling because we're coming off Division, we're faced with what we see here, and we're going to improve Division a mile further down. $1 billion. So it's a simple choice. I love transit, but I can hold conflicting thoughts in my mind where I make a priority, just like we all do.
All right. Yeah, eat your... All right. Would you... Gavin, will you hand the thing to Sarah? We're sharing mics tonight. All right. Yep. All right. 90 seconds starts now.
Who here loves a bus? Exactly. Spokane loves buses, whether because of how cool they look, the fundamental role they play in our economy, the way they connect our region, or the cars that keep off the road. Our bus system is what helps make our community thrive. STA Prop 1 is a simple renewal of a 0.2% sales tax, aka it would be 2 cents for every $10 you spend. This portion of the sales tax currently funds 20% of the bus service in Spokane County. Gavin and co. have resorted to lying to try to convince Spokaneites to vote no. So let's do some fact checking. Yeah. I don't know about y'all, but supporting reduction of service, cutting youth ride free, and making our transit organization lose out on hundreds of millions of dollars sounds pretty anti-transit to me. And those are things that would absolutely happen if this failed. Gavin has talked a lot about his history as the City of Spokane's chief financial officer. During his time as CFO, he dug the city into a hole with bad decision after bad decision, which we are still trying to fix. A quick budget lesson for you. Taking out loans and needing to pay interest on those loans makes things more expensive, not cheaper. Democracy is about the people. Transit is about the people. It is not about the ultra-wealthy Spokane business owners like Larry Stone and Jerry Dicker, who alone have given $212,000. $212,000.
If you're gonna rebut, you gotta eat a habanero, brother.
All right, I'm
Gavin,
back on the mic, and
if you're gonna rebut, you gotta eat a habanero.
So please be respectful. Thank you.
I get a rebuttal, right?
That's
Habanero.
Habanero.
The rebuttal's right there. Yeah, there we go. And you got a minute for your rebuttal.
And please be respectful. Thank you.
So in 2020, when I left the city, it was in spectacular financial condition. It's not now. And you're absolutely right, Sarah. But stepping aside from that, folks, I'm pro-transit. Just remember, you're making a choice. $1 billion here or $1 billion there. Well, if you think there's billions of dollars lying around, we can all live in that fairy tale land, but it's $1 billion. It's a choice, just like the choices we all make at home. And if you don't want to make that choice, I understand it. Pro-transit all the way. But this problem you walk by as you leave tonight with people dying on our streets will still be there. It's that simple.
Okay.
Alrighty. Do you want
Can't
to?
see what's going on.
Yeah.
She rebutted
All right,
or-
no rebuttal from the
right.
pro.
Thank you both for, or are you? No. Okay, give me the mic, please, if you're not talking. Thank you. Thank you both for coming. This is rough, especially the habanero. We really appreciate it. Everyone give a big hand to Sarah Dixon and Gavin Cooley. Thank you. Okay, everybody, the moment you've been waiting for, and I'm going to be really honest with you, we're probably going to go 10 minutes late. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Carmela Conroy, Andrew Bartleson, Richard Freudenberg, Bajan Mamawala, Kevin Fagan, and David Womack. Okay. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a table big enough for 6 people, so we are going to have to do this backyard barbecue style and hold our plates in our laps, but I trust you. And then if we can set our milk down at our feet. Look, we're figuring this out as we go, folks. I've never had 6 candidates on stage before. Okay, so this is going to look quite a bit different because this is where the survivor format of our candidate forum comes into play. So I'm going to ask these candidates 20 yes or no questions. If they think one of my questions is unfair or not a yes or a no, or if they want to waffle a little bit, you might see the flip-flopping, right? One time, you can waffle and flip-flop, but you're gonna have to take a habanero and explain why you're waffling. So that's how this works. And we're gonna move through these as quick as possible. Then all of these candidates will get to answer 2 questions, and then you, the people, will vote one of them off the island. Then the remaining 5 will answer a question, you'll vote somebody off. 4 will answer a question, you'll vote somebody off. 3 will answer a question, you'll vote somebody off. And when we get to the final 2, I'll do what I've been doing all night, and I'll ask them 2 personalized, very aggressive questions. Does that make sense? Then you'll vote for your winner, and we'll invite everybody back on stage to give a closing statement. That is a great question.
We're working on that.
Beautiful. So there is going to be a QR code posted up here behind you. If you don't know how to use your phone or you don't know how to scan a QR code, flag down one of the volunteers in the purple shirts and they will help you cast your vote. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, and this is ranked choice voting. So we're going to ask you to rank all of the candidates. If you rank somebody 6th, they get 1 point. If you rank somebody 1st, they get 6 points. All right, Nicole, are you ready for me to start the yes or no questions?
Are we doing intros? No.
We're going to do closings.
Okay.
Because we are running behind.
All right.
So if we do really well and we do really fast, I'll give you 2 minutes at the end for openings and closings. Okay. All right, is everybody ready? Do you support the SAVE Act, which would require photo ID and proof of citizenship at the time of voting?
That's 4 no's.
All right. Is there a genocide happening in Palestine? All right.
You gotta vote, Carmela.
Carmela? Is that, okay guys, hey. Do you want a habanero to explain? All right.
We're doing 1 minute, Sellers.
All right,
And 1
Carmela
minute.
gets a 1 minute rebuttal. Please let her speak through her 1 minute. Thank you.
Pepper first. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Once she starts speaking, we're not going to heckle, but I'll give you until then.
Free Palestine!
All right. 1 minute starts whenever you start speaking.
I think that it's really important that I do acknowledge there is atrocities and war crimes, and Prime Minister Netanyahu is responsible for those. I also know that hate crimes against visibly Jewish and Muslim people in the United States are at an all-time high. And so because of Netanyahu's atrocities and war crimes, and I do not want to use a sort of language that would increase hate crimes in the United States, so I prefer to avoid that term.
All right.
All right.
Okay. We're moving on to our next yes or no question.
We got 20 of these, folks.
Should Congress cut off military aid to Israel? Okay. Next question. Do you support lowering the voting age to 16? Sorry, we're holding them up so we can record them. I'll let you know when you can set them down.
Some of y'all are.
Okay, next question. Do you support setting an age limit for federal elected officials? Okay. Okay. It looks like I've got a couple people who want to eat their habanero on that one. I will get to you in 1 second. If you had yeses up, I'm going to go down the line and ask you what age that should be. Who had yeses up? All right, Kevin Fagan. Who has the mic? Where did that go?
I have the mic.
Beautiful. Kevin, what should
start.
the age limit be?
65.
Andrew, what should the age limit be?
Yeah, when I'm hitting 65, I'm retiring. I ain't trying to continue working for the government doing this. Enjoy your life. Spend time with your grandkids.
So is that also 65?
I would say the data tends to support not longer than 80.
80, okay. And then we had folks, were you waffling too, Carmela? No, okay. So we have Bajan and David Womack who want 1 minute each to explain.
You gotta eat a habanero.
Fight it after he's done talking. All right, Bajan, you're up.
How much time do I have?
1 minute.
1 minute.
The important thing to remember on the age limits is there needs to be an age limit on the presidency. There needs to be an age limit on the Supreme Court. I propose 80 years old. The reason I do not support, the reason I use 80 years old, that is, has been for the armed forces since the 1980s. If you are talking about the legislature, there is cushion that does not exist in the other branches. So senators like Dianne Feinstein, who was well beyond her shelf life, still had 99 other senators to make up for that leeway. The power of the voters to choose who they want to represent them should not be infringed upon.
All right, David, are you ready? Okay.
Well, I don't want an age limit because I want to be your next representative. And I do support reasonable term limits for Congress. Yes, and the Supreme Court, by the way.
All right. Are we ready for our next question? Should Election Day be a federal holiday? Okay. Should there be criminal trials for ICE officers who have committed crimes under Trump? Should Congress use the War Powers Act to stop war with Iran? Should Congress extend temporary protected status for Haitians, Syrians, Ukrainians, and any other TPS folks? Yes, okay. Do you support deportations as a concept, i.e., should anyone be deported? Ever. Ever. Okay. Are we... Sorry, we're writing these answers down, so I have to wait until I get the go-ahead to ask the perfect. Would you fight against an AI data center in the congressional 5th district? Would you fight against an AI data center in the congressional 5th district? Sorry, can you leave the... Okay, Bailey gave me the thumbs up. Thank you. Do you support an aid package for rural farmers? Okay. In the wake of Roe v. Wade's overturn, should Congress take action to codify the right to abortion federally? Should the federal government make college tuition at public universities free? Would you vote for a constitutional amendment to overturn the decision in Citizens United? For those of you who don't know, that was the Supreme Court decision that led to unlimited corporate spending in elections. Bailey, am I good? Or sorry, Nicole, am I good to move on? Okay. Should transgender be a protected identity under Title IX? Should Congress take action to prevent warrantless surveillance like flock cameras? What? To stop it. Do you support federally funded universal health care, i.e. Medicare for all? And this is our 20th... Sorry. E.g. Okay. All right, last question, and then we're moving on to our first group question. Do you personally think we are living under a fascist government right now?
Give him the habanero. He wants the habanero. He's asking for it. He's begging for it. All right, 1 minute. Yeah, okay.
That's a big bite. That's a big boy bite.
Yeah, those are rough, aren't they?
All right, 1 minute. Oh, yeah. We'll start the timer when he starts talking.
All right. We can all vote. This election matters.
Nope.
This election matters. This is probably one of the most important elections that we are going to have. This is our best chance to change the current situation and the course of action that we're on. So yes, are we on the path of fascism? Yes. But we can change that right now.
Okay. So, we are moving on to our questions where each of you will get 1 minute to answer. Our first question, and this time we're going to start with Kevin and go down the line, and then we'll swap it around on the next one. You do got to take a bite to talk, and I would advise taking a bite of the wing that is closest to you. That is the least spicy.
Yeah.
Right before you talk. Okay.
Real quick, Erin, we're experiencing some technical difficulties with the screen, as you can tell. We're trying to get that support right now. We're going to have to, I think, ask these questions before we vote people off, likely. Okay. So pay attention to all of these questions, and we're going to vote a little bit later, I think.
All right. The first question is, what do you see as the biggest problem facing youth today, and how would you address it in the legislature? Can I get the mic passed down to Kevin, please?
1 minute.
Honestly, the biggest problem facing youth today is any form of upward mobility and belief in the American dream still existing. I think for many of us, it's an oppressive healthcare system. It's the lack of affordable housing that we can't afford to pay rent, we can't afford any of our expenses. And to top it all off, we have to piece together jobs to even get access to the same healthcare that someone with a full-time job does. And so that dream, that having that access to upward mobility, that's gone. And so our Congress needs to act. We need to raise the federal minimum wage to at least $25 for the entire country. We need to build more housing rapidly, and we need to finally provide free public education from pre-K, universal childcare, all the way through to public college, so people have the stability their entire life. Thank you.
Next up, we have Andrew Bartleson.
It's on this.
Do you want the mic, man?
Yeah, I will take it.
Perfect.
Hey, the biggest problem, where to start? I'm going to go with my generation, the older generations, because we screwed things up so bad for the young folks. We allowed the corporate interests to take over at every step. We failed to stand up to them. Look at why do things cost so much? There's all one common factor. We allowed the monopolization of pretty much every damn market. We allowed them to buy up all your houses. We allowed them to come with the AI now. They're telling you the AI is going to take your job. That should scare the hell out of you, because they're going to admit that part of what's really going on behind the scenes. You know, when we had the free trade agreements, they knew they were going to send jobs out of the country, but they didn't openly talk about it. The fact they're openly telling you, this is going to replace you, this is going to take your jobs, they got way more nefarious things going on behind them right now. And the hate that they create with the social medias, on the internet, with the AI, it's only going to get worse. They want us to hate each other. They want you to blame somebody else for the problems that are caused by the corporations, the wealthy, the elites, whatever the hell you want to call them. And we are not going to take it anymore.
Time.
All right, we got a choice.
Great catch, Richard.
Richard. I appreciate you.
All right, next up we have Richard Freudenberg.
How long will I got? How long?
Sorry.
How long?
1 minute.
Oh my gosh.
Luke
Okay.
will give you a 5-second warning.
Yep.
All right. So I'm still recovering, sorry. I would say one of the biggest problems we've got dealing with where our children are dealing with is what is their future going to look like? That future's got to be economic opportunities, and those economic opportunities are being significantly limited right now. One of the paths of that limitation is that we're crippling them with debt related to their education. That's unacceptable. We've got to find a path to enable them to get out of debt, to allow them to continue to work and be productive members of our society without being buried in educational debt. That is just out of the gate. And then we've got to enable them to actually have reasonably well-paying jobs. We've got to make sure that we've strengthened whatever their occupation is going to be. We've got to make sure that it's going to be paying them a living wage. That living wage should not be subsidized by taxpayer dollars that are supplemental nutrition or Medicaid. They need to be enabling them to be able to survive, which I agree with. $25 minimum wage is very reasonable. I also think that we need to make sure that we strengthen our unions. I think it's extraordinarily important that our unions are enabling.
Oh, sorry, no 5-second warning.
Sorry, deal with technical difficulties. I'm not sorry. I'll get you next time, Richard.
All right, Carmela Conroy.
1 minute.
It's prices, it's costs. And so raising the federal minimum wage so that corporations can't pit states against each other in a race to the bottom in what they pay employees and occupational safety and health standards is the way to do that. Index that to inflation so that Congress only has to bite that bullet once and then have minimum wage go up the same way that Social Security and other social benefits go up. But it's the corporations who will pay for it so that they can't privatize their profits and then socialize the costs of what it takes to get somebody through this world with health care, with a roof over their heads, with food. Medicaid for everybody from birth to their 19th birthday would take the cost of health care and the risk of personal bankruptcy off of young families. And I'm going to call that good.
All right.
All right. Next up, we have Bajan Mabawala.
Everybody here is correct on the individual items that are causing problems here. I want to try and get it down to a clear picture. What is happening is the young generation is being saddled with the debts for the older generations, and it is unsustainable economically. But I will put it into one clear picture. What we have in our system, we are sending young people out of college 20 to 30 years of debt to Wall Street bankers. After they finally claw their way out of that hole and they can finally purchase a house, they are again in debt to those same Wall Street bankers for another 20, 30, or 40 years. That is unconscionable, and it is an absolute symptom of the problem of our economic model and why young people cannot become generationally wealthy.
Time.
All right, next up is David Womack.
So the biggest problem facing young people is the same that's facing me, and that is that our federal government is in total mission failure. They're not working for us, they're working against us. So the federal government actually has a mission statement. They didn't talk about that in the 18th century when they wrote the Constitution, but it's in the preamble. It's we the people. That's who authorizes the government, that's who it's for, and that's who it should be by. In order to form a more perfect union, tell me the last time in the last 18 months anything was done to make the government work better. No. The next line is to establish justice. They feel like there's a lot of justice in Houston and Minneapolis, here in Spokane with the Spokane 3? No. And the next line is to ensure domestic tranquility. Does it feel tranquil out there? Next line, defense.
Time.
Provide for the common defense, not
All right,
offense.
that's time.
And I'll be happy to talk about the rest later.
Well, you are going to get to talk again in just a second because we're going to start with you. All right, and this time you actually don't have to take a bite of a wing because, you know, we've got more than 4 questions, so we're kind of trying to balance them out. All right, the next question is, if not you, which of your opponents would you vote for and why? Womack, you're up first. You get 1 minute. Who are you making the case for?
Well, it wouldn't be Nate Powell.
Can you talk a little louder?
Yeah. So I'm getting the sign over here. What I said was it wouldn't be Nate Powell. Okay? I know that's not the question. But I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there anyway. You know, the dark money is just too much. Okay. So, love Kevin's shirt. And his vitality. I love what Bartleson brings to the race. You know, he really brings some heat. I love Richard's legal background. Carmela has 3 years of running experience. And Bajan, he's got the voice, man. He's got the voice.
Time. So pick one. You gotta pick.
All right, non-answer on that one.
Richard.
There we go.
All right.
All right, Bajan Mabawala, you're up.
John F. Kennedy gave his inaugural, please, try the decaf. John F. Kennedy, in his inaugural speech, said that it was time to pass the torch to a new generation. If we are not serious about doing that, then we are derelict in our duties. I would vote unhesitatingly for Kevin Fagan. But that responsibility makes it incumbent upon me to give him the best advice, the best guidance that I can possibly give him, and work every day towards his victory. That is where our failure is. Because hubris has no place in this formula.
Time.
Carmela Conroy.
I think that we are at a moment of great national peril, and democracy in the United States is in trouble. And if democracy doesn't survive in the United States, democracy in the whole world is under threat. And so for that reason, I would vote for Richard Friedenberg because of his prosecutorial experience so that he can hold accountable and stop the corruption and the persecutions that are going on with this executive branch of government.
All right, Richard, you're up.
I love all these guys up here. We've got a chance to know each other over this time. They're fantastic individuals. I really appreciate them very, very much. But for the same reasons that Carmelo was talking about, same reasons that David was talking about, it's a tough call. It really is. I think everybody brings awesome capabilities to the table. But I really think, to my core, I've actually already answered this question because I was asked this before by some friends. I would vote for David Womack.
All right, Andrew Bartleson.
If there's one thing you should know about me, I am a loyal dude. And I love Freudenberg. Team Freudenberg, cover your ears, okay? Please. Hey, Wendy, Jenny, cover them. Okay, Bernie, you too, cover your ears. Now I'm just messing with you. Bajan, has been so awesome to me and my daughter. He didn't have to show me the ropes. He didn't have to give me advice. I'm his opponent, but he knows there's things I didn't know. And the fact that he took me under his wing and shared those details with me, the love he's shown to my daughter and what we're doing here, I respect the hell out of him for that. You know, that's real people right there. That's someone that does care about people like that. Richard's my dude. Carmilla, she gave me her time last summer when she didn't have to, when I was just some random dude coming up to her. Womack's an awesome guy. We already got plans. We're hanging out on Walla Walla later. And Fagan, man's my dude here. Hey, who else is rocking awesome shirts besides me? This
seconds.
guy right here. Oh, dude, that was intentional. That was intentional.
Wow. We're going to make you eat that off the floor.
Okay, do it. Eat it. Eat it. Floor wing, floor wing, floor
All
wing,
right, that's
floor
your,
wing.
that's your time. Oh, you just have to. Wow. There we go.
Butt wings, butt wings, butt wings.
Okay.
Oh,
Kevin.
Beijing, he's my dude. He's been, you know.
You're up.
All right, I will eat these floor wings that got all mixed up, so I don't know the spiciness level at some point, so I promise you that. I got a full minute, so I might as well take the opportunity to mention that one of the candidates that isn't here tonight has taken significant money from outside the state, and not just any type of money. This candidate has platformed on an anti-billionaire platform. He's been proudly working class, being your local firefighter, and he is taking money from billionaires throughout the country. Why are they interested in this race? Why are you running an anti-billionaire message and you have billionaires voting your campaign? Anyways, that's Nate Powell, and I would not support him. I would vote for Beijing Mavawala because he's the only other candidate that can beat Michael Baumgartner this November.
Time.
Okay. Wow, you guys hung tight, and I know the not having a table is not ideal, so I'm so sorry for floor wings and butt wings. But on a brighter note, we fixed our tag. So please scan that QR code. And you know what, candidates? If you have your phone on you, you can vote too. You're going to vote in the election. So you have a minute to get your votes in. It's really easy. It's scanned.
Let me take this over. So we got 2 questions coming up in this first round, and we're not. There we go, Womack. Yeah, get on there, brother. So we got 2 questions we're going to start with, and the first question was originally going to be just for the youth, but we've got 40 votes already, and I can't guarantee that they were from the youth. So put yourself in the shoes of the youth if you have youth in your life. And first question for what do you see as the biggest problem facing youth today? Well, that says Andrew Bartleson is the winner. That's a problem. That's not correct. Sorry, guys.
I will say, Andrew, when we were testing this ranked choice voting, that's what that was from this morning. We were all playing around, tapping buttons to see who won. So, sorry, don't get your hopes up yet. Now
Alrighty.
we're going to show the results.
Here we go.
The 118, 19, and counting 20. Okay.
We already have 223 votes in. What
Luke,
do you see?
want to count us down?
All right. Is everybody done voting? All right. We'll give you another. Yeah, democracy takes time, y'all. We're in the home stretch now. If you guys need a QR code, they're running around. Val's got her hands up. If you guys need to. We have 150 votes in. Can somebody run the physical QR codes around to folks who need it? Okay, good. All right, we're still getting votes in. We got time. Yeah, would you guys? Okay, so let's go. Just so we're clear, let's go closest to Sellers back. We have Kevin Fagan on the far left. We have Andrew Bartleson next to him. Richard Freudenberg, Carmilla Conroy, Beijing Mavawala II.
Nope, the first.
The first.
We
Sorry,
do have
my
the second
bad.
in the room. room, baby, but not on the stage.
The second's over here. The first is over here. I got confused by Luke Jasmine the third. Sorry. Richard Freudenberg is closest to me.
Nope, that's David Womack.
What?
Kevin
My bad.
Fagan.
I'm looking at the. Sorry. David Womack with the Red Hot Chili Peppers shirt.
Okay.
If you'd like to give it away now, vote for David Womack.
Okay, are we good? Are we calling it? I think we're calling
Let's call it.
Let's
All right.
show the results.
All right, we're going to close voting on round one.
Voting is closed. Then Luke's going to hit another button, and results are
yep.
going to pop up.
All right. So far, question one, we're not eliminating anybody this round. All right. So now we're going to vote on the next question, which was, if not you, which of your opponents would you vote for and why?
So think about who gave the best answer to that question. Luke, bring the QR code back, please.
Yes, use that QR code.
Also, if you leave it open on your phone and you just hit refresh, the next round will come up.
Yes.
Luke, it says standing by.
There we go. Is that working now? Refresh again. Sorry, guys.
I swear we tech checked this morning.
What was the question of the camera? Sorry.
Oh, we're going so far.
All right, we got votes coming in.
So sorry in advance. We are going so far over time.
Are you guys having fun despite the technical difficulties?
Thank you so much to Darby, who's standing over in the corner and who rented us this building and came and fixed our tech. Thank you, Darby. All right, Luke, how are we looking?
We're still getting votes in.
Can we have music for this portion, Hayden?
Oh boy, you're really... All right, we're gonna give it 10 more or let's give it 15 more seconds.
Democracy needs to happen in 15 seconds or not at all. Oh, I can take your peppers.
3, 2, 1. We're closing voting.
All right.
Sorry, hold on. All right. So,
All right. Everybody, please give Carmela Conroy a great big hand, and we will welcome her back at the end for a closing statement.
eliminated in round one.
One of these guys wanted water, right? All right, we are going to move on to the next question. And this time we're doing one question, and then we're voting somebody else out. All right, is everybody ready? All right, and this time we're going to start with Bartleson. You are likely running against Baumgartner in the general. In your view, what was his biggest mistake in the last 2 years, and what would you have done differently? And you get, is this 1 minute? 1 minute.
1 minute.
Baumgartner's biggest mistake is being a collaborator with a fascist regime. He doesn't stand up for us. When Baumgartner's out there, it's 2 steps backwards, 1 step forwards. Oh, sorry we cut all that money from your health care funding. Here's a little bit back for the real health care. Baumgartner didn't speak up about the farmers when the tariffs was out there, even though he knows damn well that Whitman County, 9% of those grains get shipped overseas. Keeps his mouth shut. He's afraid to speak up. But he want to talk about, we got some subsidies for you that are a little bit too late to save your farm. No, that's just the start. He wants to go make stupid videos on Twitter and TikTok and whatnot. Hey, I'm Michael Baumgartner, and I really care about rural farmers and their health care, okay? We're down here at the Hoop Fest, and we got these kids with a little hoop on, you can dunk on them. Baumgartner is weak. Morrison is strong.
Time.
All right, Richard Freudenberg, you've got 1 minute. And if I could get you to take a bite of a wing, that would be great.
Oh, sorry.
And we're not going to open up voting until everybody is gone this time. So
So don't start voting until everybody's talked.
well, you
please.
won't be able to. It'll refresh when we do. When we're done.
Obviously, I can't take the heat. All right, so Baumgartner did a lot of things I completely disagree with. I obviously support what Andrew's saying. He voted for the Big Beautiful Bill. The Big Beautiful Bill cuts $1 trillion from Medicaid, and it cuts $200 billion from supplemental nutrition. This is literally medical care and food for our children. This is absolutely crazy that he would do something like that. That said, what really makes me unhappy is when he came back to take accountability for that, you could never find him. You could never reach him. You could never come out and talk to him. Very candidly, I was one of the people looking. Because when the government shut down out here and I'm sending my military members off to go get assistance through food banks, I couldn't find him because I was looking. So I put it to you, there is a number of things that he is right for being held accountable for, but he never shows.
All right. Bajan, you're up.
Please repeat.
Can you take a bite of
Us
the wing?
elderly people.
Oh, you want the question again?
Thank you.
Yes. You're likely running against Baumgartner in the general. In your view, what was his biggest mistake in the last 2 years, and what would you have done differently?
Once again, I'm going to be a little bit serious here. I'm looking out at my son and my daughter-in-law who have served in combat in Afghanistan. There is nothing more serious than war. Michael Baumgartner doesn't know when you fight a war, who the good guys are, and when you do not fight a war. Combat in Afghanistan is hard enough. But when you have a man like Michael Baumgartner, who was at the same embassy that I was at in Baghdad, telling people that a war with Iran is a good idea, is unconscionable,
15 seconds.
and it's incredibly dangerous. At the same time, Slava Ukraini, we support Ukraine.
David Womack, you're up next.
I don't disagree with anything these gentlemen have said up here. But the root cause, the root problem with Michael Baumgartner is he has zero integrity. Zero. He swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and he's helping this administration shred our Constitution. All those things that we talk about with one big beautiful bill, that is so wrong. It is against the Constitution, which calls for promoting the general welfare of the
15
population. And you can just go right down the list. It's the integrity issue.
All right, Kevin Fagan.
We are opening voting now. Refresh
No,
your
we are
phones.
opening voting
Oh, sorry, it's
after
Kevin. Sorry,
Kevin
no, my
votes.
bad. My bad. Closing voting.
Come on.
Wow. Sorry.
They can
Sorry,
hear me
Kevin.
at least. Look, I agree with the integrity, agree with all of his magnificent failures in less than 2 years of representing us. And word on the street is Michael Baumgartner is still trying to find his spine ever since being elected 18 months ago. He completely lost it. And the question goes back to his biggest mistake. And I think he's been playing this political game his whole life. He never went to the House of Representatives to be a representative for the people. He took it as the next step in his career ladder. He took it to be the next promotion. But his biggest mistake was unconditionally supporting the Iran war that has absolutely made life so much more difficult for everyone in this district, including the farmers that have seen
15
increased
seconds.
farm diesel prices, fertilizer prices, and they are going to be the people that vote him out in November, and that's why it was his biggest mistake.
Okay.
Okay, voting is now open, actually. Please vote.
If it doesn't pop up on your phone, refresh your browser.
Do you want me to hold the mic?
Here we go. We're getting votes in. Here we go. Ooh.
Oh, by a
Richard
hair.
Freudenberg, unfortunately.
Thank you so much.
You've been
Richard.
eliminated.
We will welcome
Great showing.
Richard back at the end to give a closing statement. All right, and our next question is going to start with Bayesian. Do we want to condense? Do you want to scoot closer to folks?
Yeah, feel free. Move on down. Get closer to Sellers.
All right, are you ready?
Always ready.
Sorry, I'm watching Womack. Want to make sure he's ready too. You ready? All right. Do you support government shutdowns as an effort to fight Trump's proposed policies, like expanding the ICE budget or requiring American citizens to show documents like a birth certificate or a passport in order to register to vote? And follow-up, do you think Democrats in Congress went far enough in the last session?
That question is very confusing. Please repeat it.
Sure. Do you support government shutdowns as an effort to fight Trump's proposed policies? For example, expanding the ICE budget or requiring American citizens to show documents like birth certificates or a passport in order to register to vote. So part one, do you support government shutdowns? Part two, in the last legislative session, do you think Democrats in Congress went far enough in stopping Trump's agenda?
I'm going to answer those in reverse order.
Perfect. You got 1 minute.
The Republicans use every tool at their disposal to cramp the government, to shut down our government, to cause problems for progress in this country. Democrats are showing incredible weakness by not using those same tools when fascism is on the rise in this country. The other part of your question, I propose when you do have a budget crunch, we sequester the Congress. They are not allowed in or out. They are not allowed to talk to the press. They are not allowed to have their staff there. They must work it out themselves on the spot on Capitol Hill.
15 seconds. All right, he's done.
All right, David Womack, you're up.
Shutting down the government is a huge problem. Creates all sorts of issues for all sorts of people. And right now, under our current government, it's the most effective tool that there is. It's the power of the purse that Congress has.
Volume.
So, but we can create something new. We can create something new. The Constitution also gives Congress the right to create courts and create their jurisdiction, the things that they consider. What if we had a court that when an executive order was issued, the Congress could essentially throw a penalty card and say, that has to go to the court to be decided whether it's constitutional or not.
15 seconds.
So, and of course, that's going to end up right to the Supreme Court, but at least we would have a mechanism to do it quickly.
All right.
All right.
Kevin Fagan, you're up.
I've gotten the question a lot on the campaign trail. Well, you're, below 40, so how do we get young people out to vote? How do we get them to care about participating in our democracy more? Well, I have many thoughts on that, but what it takes is, at first, looking up to our federal representatives, and especially those that we might share values with, or at least in name, and those that call themselves Democrats, actually standing up when they have the only opportunity to do so as the minority party. And so we've continued to see time and time again, we want Democrats to fight for something. We want Democrats to do something. And Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries continue to roll over. And so yes, absolutely, we should use the government shutdown as a means of exercising the limited power that we have, because otherwise, again, we will fall for anything and we will lose our rights one step at a time.
Hey, chicken wings, chicken wings, chicken wings.
All right.
Okay. We'll put it on the list. All right, nice. Andrew, whenever you're ready.
Let no one say I don't learn my lessons. Yeah, shutting down the government, fine, but we're still putting people out there. We're still having the necessary workers, keeping the airports open. So shut the whole damn thing down. Don't make the lowest paid workers have to go back out there. And even more so, yeah, the Democrats, it's the weakest response every damn time. They're so worried about public opinion, what they're gonna say on Fox News. Oh, you're gonna weaponize the government if we charge this fascist for his traitorous activities on January 6th. They're gonna say it anyways. Look what the hell just happened. Why you care so much what they think about you? They ain't your voters, they all around the damn country. Stand up. Don't tolerate this stuff. Every time. We're gonna strongly worded letters. I'm gonna walk around posting videos about, oh, I can't believe they did this, these Republicans, these fascists, the MAGA. Your videos aren't doing anything. Get off social media, get in there and kick some ass.
All right. We are now going to move to another round of voting.
Where voting is open now. Refresh your screen if it does. All right.
Drum roll, please.
Ooh, lost a little ground, David. Sorry. You are eliminated.
Everyone say thank you, David, and we'll have him back at the end for closing statements. Handing out the Tums. This is the People's Princess right here.
You might have wanted to pull out the Tums before you got eliminated.
All right, we've got one more question before we get down to the final two. We're going to start with Kevin Bajan Bartleson. All right.
Yeah. Just for a reminder, we've got Kevin Fagan on the far left.
Far right.
Andrew Bartleson in the center, and Bajan Mavawala on the right.
Okay. Do you believe in climate change? And if so, what are 3 immediate steps the federal government should take to address its impacts? If you do not believe in climate change, I guess tell me what that money should be spent on instead.
I've worked for 5 years in climate change and sustainability consulting, and no, I've seen enough. I don't believe in climate change. No, the federal government absolutely has a responsibility to act on climate change now. We need to not only rapidly decarbonize our economy, so that includes installing clean energy, wind, solar, not only as a clean energy solution, but also to revitalize our rural economies and bring more dollars back to there. Also, spicy wing. On the resilience front, the effects of climate change, all of us are gonna be feeling it. Some of us already have. We had 19 people in Spokane already die in their homes from a heat wave a few years ago. So as a government, we need to make sure we can install heat pumps in every home, especially low-income ones. And third, I'd say, especially in this district,
15 seconds.
We need to look at the management of all of our forests. We've been breathing in wildfire smoke for weeks now. We need to actually invest in rural economies. We need to thin and trim our forests. Thank you.
All right, Bajan, you're up. I'm trying to mix things up so it's not the same thing every time.
Got it. I don't think I could give an answer that's better than what Kevin has given. But I do want to point out a couple of things here. We can set standards, okay? The world still looks to the United States. We have failed in our mission to set the standard for the world. Emissions for automobiles, getting a lower reliance on petrochemicals, getting a lower reliance on petroleum. But I want to make one thing here real clear. It's not alternative energy. It's energy. I got to tell you a scary story. How many seconds do I got?
15.
15 seconds. The chair of the Republican Party in Garfield County assured me that the greatest threat to the farmers in this district are windmills. I don't know how much time she spent reading Don Quixote, but my God.
Time.
Yeah, I can repeat the question for you. Do you believe in climate change? And if so, what are 3 immediate steps the federal government should take to address its impacts?
Somebody say something out there?
Do we want the question again? Oh, okay.
No shade to you, Erin. I understand we have to ask the question. But why are we acting like it's a tooth fairy? Do you believe in it? It's just a fact. It's like evolution. It's a fact. It ain't about, it doesn't matter what you believe in. It's a fact. 2 + 2 is 4. It's a fact. Do you believe it's 4? It doesn't matter if you believe that, okay? So let's just get that narrative out the way. Things we need to do. How about we start adapting? It is here. It's happening. We need to plan for it. We need to put money into research. We need to invest in this. Crops that are growing out here ain't going to be growing much longer. Reforestation efforts taking place right now ain't going to be working much longer. 2, these damn data centers hogging all of our energy and water and polluting our environments and raising the temperatures. Not happening. We're done. And number 3, we need to start pointing the finger where it belongs. They want to tell you, take shorter showers, don't water your lawn, you. We consume like 8% of the water. Where's the other 92% going? That's y'all. And they do that because then it's going to piss you off when they tell you, turn your temperature up a little bit.
All right,
drive a car's electric, but they fly them private jets.
Okay, that's time.
All right, we're opening voting. Start. Wait.
Okay. So we are going to move on to our last round of voting before we're down to our final 2. So please consider ranking these candidates in the order that you like their answer to that question. All right, voting is open, I feel.
All right. Andrew Bartleson, you are at risk, sir. Do you think you did enough? Made a hell of a showing.
I want to point out, all the newspapers like to talk about my fancy shirts. This is the first time we wore the OG out because I love you and want to stunt a little bit and have fun. So Emory Denman, if you're here, put that in your notebook.
Wait, Andrew, we haven't showed the results yet.
Oh, I thought I was done.
It is. That's it. Those are that is. Yep. Those are the results. Andrew Bartleson.
All right.
Is eliminated.
All right, there you go. Okay. If you want to give more of a closing statement later, I might make you have a bit of pepper. All right, everybody, we're down to our final 2 candidates. Give them a big hand. Okay. Do we care who I start with? Do either of you have a preference? Who's feeling most ready? If you're afraid, I guess we'll start with Kevin then.
All right, I'm experiencing technical difficulties again, so we are going to...
That's okay. All right, everybody. Kevin, the closest you've ever gotten to political office is a seat on a 14-person city advisory board. What did you learn on that board, or in college, or in the last 5 years since graduating, that makes you qualified to hold congressional office?
You know, there's many ways to phrase that question that are different, but I appreciate the way that you did it because, yes, I have no elected political experience, but quite frankly, my daily experience as a renter, as someone who sees the impacts of climate change every day and works tirelessly to avoid our worst climate scenarios, as someone who helps tribes navigate these grants and decarbonization programs. Oh my God, that wing is spicy. I look up every single day and I also see federal representatives that sit there and do nothing. They do nothing. What experience do you need to represent this country. I think you need someone who's a good listener, a quick learner, and who's willing to accept when they're wrong. And so, for me,
15 seconds.
The absolute lack of integrity in Congress has shown that yes, we can certainly do better than Baumgartner if we have someone who's willing to show up, listen to all of the communities that they serve. I guarantee you we will be in a better place. Thank you.
All right, Bajan. Your policy platform highlights that billionaires ought to pay their fair share in taxes, and you've stated that the ultra-wealthy have rigged our political system. However, at another community town hall, when asked if billionaires should exist, your paddle read yes. So, I'm wondering, is there any amount of money that is too much, and is there any ethical way to become a billionaire?
Okay, I love this question. The reason that I am not concerned about the existence of billionaires is that my concern is the gap between everybody else and the people at the very top. That is the source of the evil. That is the source when they say that money, when they say that it is freedom of speech to put money into a system. Corporations are not people, folks. Corporations are entities designed to take the human emotion and human responsibility out of the profit margin. It's not the way a democracy, a representative government is supposed to work. But the fact that there is somebody with a lot of money in and of itself is not evil. The fact that the rest of us are slaving at wages that will not even put a roof over your head or take care of your family, that is what's criminal.
Time.
I do want to ask a very quick follow-up. Do you think there's an ethical way to become a billionaire?
30 seconds.
I like that follow-up, and no one has asked me that question before. You should be a reporter.
That's crazy. I am.
She's not voting.
In our current system, I'd have to answer no. There is no ethical way to become a billionaire. But I will point something out. Most of them make their money the old-fashioned way. They inherit it.
All right, and actually we're gonna stick with Bajan because last time you got more time to think, this time you get less. Okay, this is another question going back to that People's Town Hall. So thank you to the community folks that did that. At that town hall, you were asked if military funding should be reduced, with that funding directed towards things like housing and healthcare. Your paddle said no on that one. The House recently passed a budget that would hand the Pentagon more than $1 trillion. How would you have voted on that increase? And if you would not have voted in favor in it, how much money for the military is too much?
Okay, once again, you are conflating two separate things. Yes, you are.
Tell me.
Let's look at the logic line. The reason we do not put $1 trillion into the military right now is that is money designed to go into the Iran war. We do not want to fund an unjust war. Now, at the same time, you need a strong and powerful military that is capable of doing the right things. And in case you think it hasn't happened, take a look at the former Yugoslavia. United States went into the former Yugoslavia at 200,000 deaths per year, and within 1 year, it was down to 2,000 deaths. That's success. It's not pretty. What we do in the military is we kill people and we blow things up. That's what we do. But sometimes you must be willing to go after those who have no compulsion, like Putin, like the other tyrants of this world.
All right. Luke, is my supplementary slideshow available?
We believe so.
Now, Kevin, these guys all went to a town hall hosted by the Spokesman Review, and they had to answer a civics test. You weren't there because you were getting married, and that's a super valid excuse. But we are going to give you a little congressional readiness test, and it's going to be more in the range style. So, the first question on the congressional readiness test. Can you filibuster in the House of Representatives? And if you know the answer, keep it to yourself.
No.
That is correct. All right, next slide. Can you name this man who currently works as Israel's Minister of National Security?
Smoltrich, and he should be in The Hague.
So you're so close. This is Ben Gvir, right?
Oh, Ben Gvir. Is it not Smoltrich?
This is Ben Gvir.
Oh, sorry.
But,
yeah.
you know, also in...
How do you feel about him being in The Hague?
Also should be in The Hague.
Next question. What is the youngest age someone can be elected to the House of Representatives?
25.
That's correct.
I know it's not 30.
Can you identify this African country where members of the RSF are enacting a genocide in Darfur?
The Democratic Republic of the Congo?
No, you're looking at Sudan.
Oh, Sudan. Sorry.
All right, final question. What is the vote threshold to overcome a presidential veto?
60.
It is a 2/3 of the members and voting in each 2/3 of the voting members in each chamber.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that was our congressional readiness test. I will say, I do think those were maybe a little bit harder than the ones they got at the last civics test, but...
I got one simple question. They just labeled you with, how many questions did you just hit this man with?
He didn't get to talk for very long. I went to college with Kevin. I can give him a little shit. All right, everybody. So we are going to go to our last round of voting. You're going to decide which of these two candidates is your winner of Candidate Survivor.
We are opening voting now.
Voting is open now. And while we're voting, please give these two men and also everybody else who is up here tonight, whether they're still in the room or if they had to leave, and also, now that you've seen all the candidates, there is voting at the Washington bus table for best dress and who handled the spice best. So if you want your say in who wins those two little micro awards with absolutely no trophies, just glory, you can go see the Washington bus.
We're almost done here. We're going to take another, say, 15 seconds. Get your vote locked in.
All right.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're closing voting.
Drum roll, please, for your first inaugural Candidate Survivor East Side winner.
Your winner is Kevin Fagan, everybody.
All right, that's Kevin Fagan. Now I would like to welcome all of the candidates from the congressional race. So Carmela Conroy, Richard Freudenberg, David Womack, Andrew Bartleson, and Bajan Mabawala back to the stage. All right, where did that mic go?
Not the dead one.
Okay.
Did somebody walk away with the mic?
Nope, I found it.
Okay, all right. All right.
Do I have everybody? I feel like I'm missing somebody.
We're missing one. Here we go. Bartleson's back.
Woo! All right. All right.
Okay,
One
we're gonna
last
go
rodeo.
in reverse order. So Kevin gets a minute for his closing speech. Everyone, please listen.
All right, in the back as well. Everyone, eyes, ears, let's go. All right, thank you so much for having me out here tonight. I am so excited to be a progressive candidate and the progressive candidate that's not only going to win this primary, but beat Baumgartner in November, because this is exactly what we need. We have been getting out there. We've knocked over 7,000 doors now with dozens of different volunteers, and we have been out in the community showing up. And I also want to shout out our sole endorsement from Councilmember Sarah Dixit. She's still here tonight, and I'm so excited to have her endorsement. Her campaign was such an inspiration. She showed that you don't need to take advice from people who say how campaigns should be run. You can show up, be in your community, do fundraisers where your small businesses are, where your community shows up, and that's exactly what we are going to do and prove that we can be Baumgartner in November. Thank you.
Asian. We're going in reverse elimination order.
I want to thank everybody for coming out here and participating in our democracy. The future of our country is before us. Let's make sure we are investing in our children, in our young people, and give them the opportunity to lead.
All right, you're up, Andrew.
I'll take the rest of your time then.
I yield my time.
He yields his
1
time.
minute, sir. I don't care how nice your cowboy boots are. You at 1 minute.
20 seconds. Okay. You know what? I was 2 months ago down there in Clarkston. We started out with the introduction of he's a different kind of dude. You're damn right. We lived up to it. All the Bartle stands out there, I love you. I appreciate your support. Give me a what's up. Ho! Ava Sally Bartleson. Throw it up for her. We wouldn't be doing this without her. Low Jasmine. Low Jasmine's a real one. He got me a seat at his table at the Salmon Feast. When it was sold out, he didn't have to do that. But he didn't just do it for me. He did it for Danny. He did it for Julia. He did it for Elliot. He did it for everybody. And he took no recognition for it. So I want to make sure he gets some. Because that's a real dude right there. He didn't have to. He did it because he cared. All right. Everyone that's here, you're here because you care. I care about you. I love you. Thank you for coming and participating. They came for the immigrants, and we said, hell no. Get out of here, you fascist bastards. We know how that story ends, and we ain't repeating it.
All right, next up we've got David Womack.
I want to thank Range Media and Washington Bus and KSPS tonight for hosting us here. Thanks to all of you for coming out. It's been a lot of fun. It's been pretty hot as well. If any of you guys need the Tums, I got them right here. So, yeah, so get out there. If you haven't cast your votes yet, please do it. Please put it in a drop box. It's way too late to put it in the mailbox. Vote like your country depends on it, like your future depends on it, because it does.
All right. Next up we've got Richard Freudenberg.
I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. This has been an absolutely fantastic experience. I want to let you know that all these people are great people. No matter what happens in the election here on August 4th, I think we need to make sure that we come together as a group. We need to come together and engage. That is going to be super important. The importance of this next election is actually going to make a significant difference. I don't know if you're tracking, but there's a significant attack on our rights and our voting rights. And then once that vote is taken, we will not get that back. So that's why I'm telling you, this is an important vote. Please make sure you vote and choose wisely. Vote for the candidate you think will have the best chance against Baumgartner. That is extraordinarily important. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Last but not least, please give it up for Carmela Conroy.
Thank you. So thanks everybody for being here tonight, and to the sponsors and hosts of this. What a fantastic event. It's really important. I echo what everybody else here said. All of the Democrats in this race have agreed that whichever of us makes it through the primary, we will support the others in getting through. Holding the Epstein class responsible, saving hospitals, including our rural hospitals, bringing prices down by ending both the tariff war and the shooting wars. And Democrats can make that happen. We can take the power back and use that power to help people. And that's what we're going to do come November, whichever one of that is. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Washington bus, do I have a victor for our best dressed? And
We do.
who handled the spice?
In fact, should we do coolest candidate under the heat or spiciest dressed first?
Spiciest dressed.
Spiciest dressed. Drum roll. Mr. Kevin Fagan. Yeah, it's not going to be up on the screen. Sorry, guys. Coolest candidate under the heat. Would Natasha Hill come back to the stage if you're still here? Get up there. All right, these are your winners tonight.